is Drift Spa. Check it out online at islandresortandcasino.com.
Middle of the order due up for the Brewers in the 8th against Tyler Lyons. Perez, Shaw, and Brinson still trying to get themselves on the board. It's 5-0 Cardinals. Little follow-up to our U.S. Cellular text the booth line from last half inning, that Little Italy portion of St. Louis. If you're trying to Google it or Yelp it, if you're into that, just Yelp the Hill in St. Louis. That little area, Little Italy, called the Hill. Check it out. Really good if you're in the area. Anyway, Hernan Perez, 1 out of 3 today. One of the 4 hits for the Brewers, all singles. They've stranded 8 men on base in this game. Have not been able to take advantage of the Cardinals' opportunities as Perez takes a strike from Lyons, and it's 0-1. And this 5th inning of today's game, as the 0-1 from Lyons is a check swing, and Laz Diaz said he went around. It's 0-2. And the Brewers bench chirping slightly because Hernan Perez barely even got the bat off his shoulder. Here's the 0-2. Misses outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. But a carbon copy of the 1-0 game into the 7th inning on Sunday against Arizona. 1-2 pitch to Perez. Reached out, poked off the glove of Lyons. Barehanded pickup by Garcia. Throw to first, not in time. That little deflection from Tyler Lyons probably cost the Cardinals an out. The Brewers will take it. It will be an infield single. Leadoff man on for the Brewers. The Brewers again on Sunday against Arizona. Pitchers duel all the way. Chase Anderson against Robbie Ray. 1-0 going into the 7th inning. Brewers had the bases loaded in that 7th inning. Could not get a run across. And the Diamondbacks took that momentum by getting out of that inning and had the big 5-run frame. Pitch to Shaw. Banged foul off the tarp down the right field line. It's 0-1 on Travis. Well, today, Brewers had the bases loaded in the 5th. Less than 2 outs. Shallow fly ball, then a deep fly ball. But couldn't get a run across. Cardinals responded, getting 3 against Brent Suter in the 5th. The 0-1 to Shaw. Grounded, double play ball. Wong goes to second for 1, back to first. It is 2, a double play, 4-6-3. Shaw hit it hard, but right at Colton Wong. And that erases the threat. 2 outs, nobody on for Lewis Brinson, who's 0 for 3 today. Folks, Frederick Usinger believed in making sausage the right way, the old world way. No shortcuts, no fillers, only choice meats and the best imported spices. Brinson takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Do it right or don't do it at all. 135 years later, that business plan still working. Usinger sausage, always made to be the best since 1880. Breaking ball in for a strike on Brinson. It's quickly 0-2. Searching for that first major league hit. Lyons rocks and fires. And a swing and a foul. That one got a bite of Yadier Molina. Two strikes on Brinson. Lyons delivers. Little flare, shallow center. Wong going out, reaches up and makes the catch. Brinson thought he had himself his first big league knock. Hit it off the end of the bat. But Colton Wong, with all that range, able to go get it and take the pop-up out of the air. Brewers go in order. They had a hit, leave nobody. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 5-0 Cardinals. The Brewers Radio Network salutes the troops serving this baseball season.
My name is Beth Brester from PY.
Restrictions may apply. What's the worst thing about running your own business? How about workers' compensation insurance? Well, at West HNI, an official supplier of the Silver Lining, we de-risk business. To learn more, visit hni.com.
Madison Mayor Paul Soglin says he's considering challenging Governor Scott Walker next.
New pitcher on for the Crew in the bottom of the 8th inning against the Cardinals. St. Louis with a 5-0 lead, and Neftali Feliz on to pitch for Milwaukee. 1-5 his record in 28 appearances. ERA nearing that 6 mark. 20 strikeouts and 26 innings of work. He'll face Wong, Martinez, and Greg Garcia. 6, 7, and 8 in the Cardinals order. Weather like today makes you want to grab a Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy. One of the official sponsors of Brewers baseball. Summer Shandy combines German-style Weiss beer with natural lemonade flavor. Neftali Feliz into his stretch in the pitch. Down and in, 1 ball, no strikes. Leinenkugel's Brewing Company, Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. Please enjoy Leinie's responsibly. Nice toasty day here in St. Louis. 1-0 on Wong. And he pops one foul out of play behind home plate. Whatever section that is, just to the left of the booth, they've had about 4 spectacular catches in today's game. Another nice one there.
They've been a magnet over there.
Fan wearing red. Shocker. 1 ball, 1 strike on Wong. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul, first base side. And it's 1-2. It's a lot of red here in St. Louis. Seats are red.
Yeah.
Everything but the bases pretty much are the color red.
The grass is red.
Sometimes.
No.
1-2 pitch. Sprayed foul. Hits in the top deck. Makes its way all the way down into the lower section.
Go southwest of here about 5 hours and the dirt would be red.
Yes, it would. 1-2 on Colton Wong. And the pitch. Fister fouled again. I'm not sure how his bat is still intact with some of the jam jobs that Feliz has come up with on the inner part of the plate. And Feliz trying to get it going. He's had a tough month since being removed from that closer's spot. 1-2, and here it is. Lined on a short hop to Sogard. Picks it clean, throws to first in time, and Wong is thrown out. That's a tough 1-for-4 day for Colton Wong. Batter will be Jose Martinez. A homer and a sacrifice fly today. Good for 2 of the 5 runs batted in this game. He broke the scoreless tie in the 5th. The 1-out homer to right center. Feliz last pitched on Sunday against the Diamondbacks and did not retire a batter. Faced 4 hitters, gave up 2 hits, a walk and a homer. And the pitch is a strike with a breaking ball, and it's 0-1 on Jose Martinez. Well, Brewers will have to have a quick memory if they don't get 5 in the 9th to tie it or 6 to take a lead. Game 2 of this doubleheader coming up at 7:15 tonight. Feliz deals high and in 95-mile-an-hour fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jimmy Nelson will toe the slab for the Crew against Marco Gonzalez. Gonzalez will make his first major league start since 2015. Had Tommy John surgery. Missed all of 2016. 1-1 pitch, down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike on Jose Martinez. And Jimmy Nelson will look to beat the Cardinals for the first time in his career. No action in either bullpen. Tyler Lyons has been good in his 2 innings of work. 2-1 coming, and it misses high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Lance Lynn, 5 scoreless innings. Brewers had him on the ropes a couple of different times. Could not push anything across. John Good bridge in the 6th to Tyler Lyons. Feliz kicks and throws. Popped up right side. Thames staring at it, sunglasses on, and he will run out of room. Lands in the front row of seats, and Thames kind of gave up on that one. He got to the warning track and stopped. It was just one row in. Not sure if he would have had to play on it or not, but just kind of peeled off on his route. 3-2 on Martinez. Outfielders playing straight up for Jose. Longtime member in the Royals organization. Came over to the Cardinals late last year. 3-2 coming. Hit fouled again. Third deck this time. Full boat on Martinez. Greg Garcia to follow. A 3-run 5th, a 2-run 6th for St. Louis. That's it. Those are really the only innings that they've had any sort of threat in this game against the Brewers pitching staff. Brent Suter for 4 2/3 today. The 3-2 hit in the air, left field, and this ball is going to be gone. It's a 2-homer day for Jose Martinez. It's 6-0 St. Louis. Neftali Feliz left one out over the middle of the plate. And Jose Martinez did not miss it. Now it's Greg Garcia. Another home run allowed by Neftali Feliz. It's the 8th that he's surrendered this year. Now it's Garcia as Feliz throws, and Garcia pops it foul and out of play. It's 0-1. Fans, you want a free terrace level game ticket? Then complete a BP Come On Back card by making 7 purchases of 8 or more gallons of gas at participating BP gas stations. Delivery, a breaking ball strike, and it's 0-2 on Garcia. Call 414-902-4000 for more details. Garcia, left-handed hitter waiting, and Feliz deals high. Fastball at 97, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Neftali, again, he's a guy that, for the Brewers, trying to get him going. He has had a real tough time. And before he sees another pitch, let's step out 10 seconds for station ID. This is the Brewers Radio Network.
The home of the Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. We are Wisconsin's radio station. WTMJ and WTMJ HD, Milwaukee.
1-2 pitch and a breaking ball. An emergency swing basically took it out of the glove of Jet Bandy, and Garcia hangs in there to hit it foul. Stays at the ball and 2 strikes. Along with Lane Grindle and our producer and engineer Kent Sommerfeld, Jeff Levering with you from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Game 1 of this doubleheader today. Neftali Feliz deals. Again, hit foul by Greg Garcia. It stays at 1-2. Neftali Feliz had a good year last year at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Fully recovered from his Tommy John surgery. And he was very good in that 6th, 7th, 8th inning setup capacity last year for Pittsburgh. The 1-2, check swing at a high fastball, and it's 2-2. And that's what the Brewers are kind of hoping for Neftali Feliz to find again. Now that Corey Knebel has solidified himself at the back end of the bullpen, if you could get Feliz to figure out that magic. Here's the 2-2. Garcia hits another one foul. If the Brewers could get him back to that form from a year ago with Pittsburgh, it is such a bonus for this bullpen. But what's it going to take to find it? That's what Derek Johnson and Craig Counsell are going to try and unlock. 2-2 on Garcia, still battling with Neftali Feliz. And the pitch. Popped up third base side. Shaw giving chase. Foul ground. Reaches out. Will just run out of room. Lands in the front row of seats over that short wall, and it stays at 2-2.
Been a lot of talk about Feliz when he was in save situations performing pretty well. This year was more when the game was tied or in a close game when he was called upon. But Feliz hasn't been a closer his whole career. He started out that way, then he was turned into a starter. And last year with the Pirates, he was pitching late in games, but he wasn't closing. So this isn't new territory. He's been through trials, and he's been in different roles before. But you have Barnes and Knebel that you feel really good about at the back of the pen.
2-2 down and in. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You need a couple more guys to emerge, to step up. It would be really good if that could happen.
Carlos Torres was that guy for a while, but he's going through a little tough time, and that might be a product of him being in 33 games as Garcia pops one up, shallow left. Hernan Perez on the move. He's there, and he makes the catch to finally put away Greg Garcia for out number 2. Long at bat that time. But you're right, Lane, and Jared Hughes has emerged, and Oliver Drake have both emerged as being guys that you can rely upon in those tough situations in late in ball games where something's on the line. But you got to be able to get outs at the end of the day, and the Brewers have had some real tough times as Tyler Lyons hits for himself and swings and misses its own one.
The wild card in that conversation right now too is Josh Hader, and how he's going to be able to fit in. How is he going to be able to pitch on short rest?
Lyons takes in 1 ball, 1 strike.
I would think at first the Brewers will be pretty careful with how often they ever pitch him back to back, but eventually you'd like to get him to a point where he could be one of those guys.
1-1 coming. It's a strike right down the middle. It's 1-2. That's one thing that they're going to be careful with in that dugout. Like you mentioned, he has never pitched on back-to-back days. Even in his short appearances, they were both starts and coming off 5 days rest. 1-2 pitch. Hit foul, and Tyler Lyons hangs in there against Feliz.
And the Brewers were clear when he came up. He's going to pitch out of the bullpen right now, but they still view him as a starter long-term. And so every decision from that standpoint will still be with that in the back of your mind.
Lots of season left to go. Again, just June 13th. The 1-2 hit down the third base line. That's foul. Shaw picks it and flips it into the seats. Finds a fan wearing blue. Brewers fans, very nicely done. And stick out in the sea of red here in St. Louis. 1-2 on Tyler Lyons, and Neftali Feliz will throw pitch number 30 in this inning, facing just his 4th batter. The pitch fouled back again. Lyons with a pretty good cut on that high fastball at 96. And Brewers just trying to find guys in that bullpen to get out. It's been a tough couple of weeks for that Brewers bullpen. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and Feliz finally blew Lyons away with gas at 97. We go to the 9th in St. Louis. Cardinals leading 6-0.
We're the Woodmans. I'm Clint.
I'm Phil, saving you big-time money on gold.
Ninth inning, and the Brewers find themselves trailing 6-0 in Game 1 of this doubleheader today. Game 2 will start approximately 7:15. Jimmy Nelson will toe the rubber for the Crew against Marco Gonzalez. As Tyler Lyons, who made the last out of last half inning, taking his time getting himself ready to pitch in his ninth. He'll face Bandy, the pitcher's spot, and then Orlando Arcia. Jesus Aguilar has a bat. And it looks like he's going to pinch hit in the pitcher's spot, due up second in the inning. Brent Suter, as we've talked about, thrust into action very early. Brandon Woodruff was scheduled to start and make his major league debut, went out to get loose in the outfield and felt some tightness in his hamstring and was unable to go. And Brent Suter notified maybe 20 minutes before first pitch, got himself ready to go, and he was cruising through 4. Had allowed just 2 base runners, 1 hit total, and then got his first major league hit in the top of the 5th inning, was on base that entire inning. And you got to believe that that had to do something with his struggles in the bottom of the 5th. Gave up 3 runs. Cardinals hit for the reverse cycle against Suter in that inning. First one to Bandy. Misses high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Homer, triple, double, single. And they got 2 of those 3 runs with 2 outs. 1-0 pitch. Bandy took it outside. 2 balls, no strikes on the Brewers catcher, trying to get it going offensively. 1 for his last 29. 2-0 pitch. Right in there for a strike, belt high. It's 2-1. Again, Aguilar in the on-deck circle, then Arcia. Lyons, quick worker. The pitch. Down low and in the dirt. And it's 3-1 on Jet Bandy. Average down to 227 for Bandy. Brewers trying to scratch something across in the 9th. Here comes Lyons. And a swing and a miss. Bandy just swung at ball 4. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Brewers were shut out until the 9th inning in Sunday's game in Arizona. Keon Broxton hitting a solo home run to center. And the Brewers are hopeful that that is a big hit to get Broxton going. 3-2. Lined foul. That one right over the head of Eddie Cedar in the third base coach's box. 3-2 on Bandy. And a slight delay here on the field. Not a wise gentleman making his way out onto the field, sprinting from the third baseline all the way out to center field, was trying to jump over the center field fence and was promptly greeted by security, and he is going to have a long night here in St. Louis.
Yeah, that's not going to be fun. He's in the handcuffs now.
He'll be escorted. Not so quietly. Off the field, and Jet Bandy and the Brewers will get right back at it. The Cardinals, again, with the split doubleheader, everybody that's in the ballpark today, they announced 40,083. Most of those 40,000 season ticket holders, not all in the ballpark, but a nice crowd today. They'll have to leave the ballpark, and if they've got tickets for the evening portion of our twin bill, they can come back in, shut things down, clean it up, and get ready to play for game 2. 7:15 first pitch. We'll have the pregame show for you at 6:40. Now the 3-2 to Bandy. It's a called third strike. And Tyler Lyons with his second strikeout. After that brief delay, Jesus Aguilar will come to the plate and pinch hit. Aguilar, 7 for 26 as a pinch hitter. His batting average at 282, excuse me. his first big league home run the last time the Brewers were here in St. Louis. It was a game-winning home run. The pitch from Lyons is high, ball one. Aguilar more than likely will get the start in game number 2. Left-hander Marco Gonzalez on the mound. 1-0 pitch. Aguilar takes a wide strike, and it's 1-1. That is a strike for Laz Diaz that says, okay, boys, let's get into some shade. But that's what his zone has been most of the afternoon. The 1-1. Breaking ball strike, and it's 1-2.
And if you're a pitcher to right-handed hitters, you can get almost another 1.5 inches off that plate.
1-2 coming. Down and in with a breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Laz Diaz as well, he has changed his mechanics in calling strikes from inning number 1, where he was very deliberate in calling his strikes, to late in his game where he's not even hesitating. Right arm's coming up. 2-2 pitch. Aguilar ropes one to a great forehanded stop by Jerko. Straightens up, throws to first. He just took a knock away from Aguilar. Then that kind of day for the Brewers. Every line drive, every hard hit ball that they've hit has found a Cardinals glove. And now Keon Broxton will hit for Orlando Arcia. Broxton with good thoughts in his mind. A home run last time he came to the plate on Sunday. But 2 outs in the 9th. Lyons delivers, and it's fouled back to the screen by Keon. Gotta believe Broxton will be in the lineup as well in the nightcap tonight. 0-1 from Lyons. Hit on a line right field. That's down for a base hit. So again, Keon Broxton with those good thoughts in his mind after the home run, keeping it simple, going to the opposite field, gets himself a base hit. Inning continues for Domingo Santana. How about a 2-out nightmare here by the Brewers? They're down 6-0. Good swing from Keon Broxton. He's had those peaks and valleys, and they have been big-time peaks and valleys. Maybe he's getting on the upswing of a peak. Santana grounds one to third. Jerko's got it, goes the short way to Wong, and that will do it for the Brewers in game 1 of this doubleheader. Final score, Cardinals 6, Brewers nothing. We'll have the totals when we return to St. Louis on the Brewers Radio Network.
Chatco Metal Stamping is hiring.
Brewers blanked for just the 3rd time this season.
Yeah, tough one for the Crew today, offensively especially. For the Cardinals today, 6 runs on 8 hits, no errors. They left 6. The Brewers, no runs on 5 hits, no errors, and they left 8. Winning pitcher today is Lance Lynn. He improves to 5-3. 5 shutout innings for Lance Lynn this afternoon. Brent Suter took the loss. He's now 0-1. And a 3-inning save goes to Tyler Lyons, his first save of 2017. Took 3 hours and 3 minutes here at Busch Stadium. First of 2 today in St. Louis in front of 40,083 fans, at least in terms of paid attendance here today in St. Louis. We'll come back with more totals for you when we return on the Brewers Radio Network.
What's on Tap, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And welcome back. This is the TravelWisconsin.com postgame show as the Cardinals take down the Brewers this afternoon in the first of 2 today by a final score of 6-0. Lance Lynn picking up the win. The loss going to Brent Suter. And Tyler Lyons with a 3-inning save. Jose Martinez hit 2 home runs for the Cardinals. The Cardinals improved to 30-32. The Brewers fall to 33-32. Hey, Wisconsin's thrown a big old party. It's called summer. Check out the Sheboygan County Breakfast on the Farm in Oostburg on June 17th. Visit TravelWisconsin.com for details. Let's look at the matchups around baseball today. We begin in the National League. Just a handful of true National League games. There's a bunch. Welcome back to Busch Stadium here in St. Louis, where the Cardinals defeat the Brewers this afternoon 6-0. You're listening to the TravelWisconsin.com postgame show, and the postgame highlights brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. Extra Strength 5-Hour Energy, an official sponsor of the 2017 MLB All-Star Game. We'll be using 5-Hour Energy today with a doubleheader. We need it today. All right, let's take a look at how this one unfolded. Lance Lynn on the mound for the Cardinals this afternoon, and he got off to a good start. Surrendered a 2-out single to Hernan Perez at the top of the first, but then he retired Travis Shaw on a fly ball to left field. And we were scoreless after a half an inning. Brent Suter would start in place of Brandon Woodruff, who was scratched with right hamstring tightness today. He was all set to make his MLB debut, and then it didn't happen. Tough deal for Brandon Woodruff. Suter, though, pitched well with a spot start. He worked a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning. Lynn would need just 8 pitches to retire the side in the top of the second. Meanwhile, Suter would match him with a couple of ground balls and a fly ball to work a perfect bottom half of that inning. In the top of the third inning, the Brewers would get a pair of 2-out walks from Sogard and Thames, but Hernan Perez would ground out to third, and we remained scoreless. Brent Suter would allow a single in the fourth to Dexter Fowler, but that was it. And the Brewers would leave the bases loaded themselves in the fifth inning after a big scoring opportunity. Had them loaded with 1 out. Couldn't get it done. Brent Suter would get into trouble in the fifth, allowing a 1-out home run to Jose Martinez, then a 2-out triple to pinch hitter Chad Huffman, and a ground rule double to Matt Carpenter, then an RBI single from Dexter Fowler. It was 3-0 Cardinals at the end of 5. Willie Peralta would come on to pitch the 6th, and more trouble for the Brewers. Cardinals would play 2 more on 2 hits and 3 walks. Brewers would come up empty in the top of the 7th, and Peralta would come back out, and he worked a 1-2-3 bottom half of that inning. It remained 5-0 going to the 8th. Brewers would get a leadoff single from Hernan Perez, but Travis Shaw would bounce into a double play. And then Lewis Brinson would get robbed of a hit on a nice play made by Colton Wall. Jose Martinez connected on his second home run of the game off Neftali Feliz in the 8th. And the Brewers would get a single from Keon Broxton, but nothing more in the 9th. And the Cardinals win this one. Once again, the final score of 6-0. We count our Ks courtesy of Capco. 5 Ks for Brewers pitching this afternoon. Capco making quality metal parts for over 40 years. Committed to making a difference with our customers, employees, and the community. Find out. And welcome back to the TravelWisconsin.com postgame show from St. Louis. The Cardinals taking the first game of this series by a score of 6-0. This afternoon. The Down on the Farm report is brought to you by Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Buy online, pick up at the store. You don't even have to get out of your car with Farm and Fleet's new drive-through service. Sky Sox of Colorado Springs are at Memphis. That's a good battle. Sky Sox at 37-24. Memphis at 38-25. Michael Blazek gets the call tonight on the mound for Colorado Springs. In Double-A, Biloxi's at home taking on Jacksonville. Forrest Snow gets the call for Biloxi. Class A advanced, Carolina is at Salem. And that matchup, Freddie Peralta gets the start for the Mudcats. And in Class A, Wisconsin is at Burlington. Thomas Jenkins will go on the mound for the Timber Rattlers. Our next broadcast is tonight. The On Deck Show, built by Menards, gets underway at 6:40. Followed by the game at 7:15. The Brewers taking on the Cardinals for Game 2 of the day and of the series. Starters will be Jimmy Nelson for the Crew, and left-hander Marco Gonzalez gets the call for the Cardinals. Our producer and engineer is Kent Sommerfeld, and the director of the Brewers Radio Network is Carl Mall. So for Jeff Levering, this is Lane Grindle saying thanks for listening. The final score once again, Cardinals 6 and the Brewers nothing. This has been a presentation of the Brewers Radio Network.
On the Brewers Radio Network.
Welcome back to St. Louis. It's Game 2 of our doubleheader, Brewers-Cardinals. After dropping Game number 1, the Crew tries to exact revenge today against St. Louis in Game number 2. Hi again, everybody. Jeff Levering with you alongside is Lane Grindle. And our producer and engineer is Kent Sommerfeld. Crew will send right-hander Jimmy Nelson to the mound, looking for his first career win against the Cardinals. Marco Gonzalez off the disabled list. He will go for St. Louis. Back with more as the On Deck Show built by Menards continues after these words on the Brewers Radio Network. Gonzalez shakes a couple of times, now winds and is 0-2 to Santana. Tapped foul. Another good changeup from Marco Gonzalez. And it's 0-2. Not going to blow you away with his fastball. Anywhere 90, 93 miles an hour. Hits both sides of the plate pretty consistently. Very good changeup. And a good curveball to go along with it. 0-2 again. Hit down the right field line, foul, trying to go on that inside corner, and Santana spoiled one. Outfielders for St. Louis shading just slightly to the opposite field, playing them straight up on the infield. Gonzalez wheels and deals on 0-2. Missed off the inside corner with a fastball. 1-2. Santana this year against St. Louis just 5 for 27. A lot of that happening early on in the year. The 1-2 off the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Santana really hadn't hit his stride at that point. He's been great over the last 6 weeks. Average up to 278. Now the 2-2. Swing and a foul into the glove of Fryer. He hangs on to it. Back-to-back strikeouts open up the game for Marco Gonzalez. Bring up Jesus Aguilar. Pinch hit in game 1. And making the start against the left-handed starter. Gonzalez making just his 2nd career appearance against Milwaukee. Pitched against the Crew all the way back in September of 2014. Picked up a win. First one to Aguilar. A strike over the outside corner. 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-1. 2 1/3 innings of relief in Milwaukee. Picked up the win that day. Did Marco Gonzalez. The 0-1 coming. That's a strike on the outside edge, and it's quickly 0-2. Aguilar checking in with a 280 average. He's hit 5 home runs, driven in 20. Swinging the bat better of late. 2-strike pitch. Low and in the dirt. Threw him the slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jesus. If he reaches, Travis Shaw to follow. Good crowd tonight. Announced 40,000 in game 1. That was just paid attendance. Tonight, big crowd. Little League night. 1-2 pitch. Little tapper hit towards third. Greg Garcia gobbles it up, throws on the run to first. And that'll do it for the Brewers in the top half of inning number 1. They go quietly and in order after half an inning in St. Louis. Brewers 0. Cardinals coming up.
What you need to know for your day with Steve and Eric.
Would you want to hire someone based on a 10-second video? McDonald's is using Snapchat to hire 250,000 teen workers. Good idea? A recipe.
Carpenter, 3 on the right side of the infield. Orlando Arcia playing in shallow right. 1 strike from Nelson. Here's the pitch. That's a little low. 1 ball and 1 strike. And as we told you earlier, the Brewers making a move in between games, placing Brandon Woodruff on the 10-day disabled list because of that right hamstring tightness. Nelson's 1-1 to Carpenter. Hit in the air to right center and hit well. Backing up Broxton. It is going to be off the wall on a bounce. Broxton picks it up cleanly, but Carpenter into second base with a leadoff double. Fastball from Jimmy Nelson right down the middle, about thigh high, and Carpenter didn't miss it. Leadoff extra base hit for St. Louis, and now it's Tommy Pham. The Brewers needing some more depth in that bullpen after Brent Suter was thrust into action early in game 1. Gave the Crew 4 2/3 pretty good innings. Nelson's first pitch to Pham. Bouncer hit towards third. Shaw looks the runner back, throws to first in time, and Pham is out number 1. 1 pitch out from Jimmy Nelson against Tommy Pham. One away for Stephen Piscotty. Well, the Brewers' AAA team, Colorado Springs, is in Memphis playing against the Cardinals' AAA affiliate. Oddly enough, it's about a 4-hour drive away, and Paolo Espino got in a car as soon as the first game was underway and made his way north. Able to get here. He is active and available today for Craig Counsell. Jimmy Nelson's pitch to Piscotty. Little flare right field. That's down for a base hit. Carpenter had the hold to make sure the ball got through. So he stands at third base. Runners are on the corners for Jose Martinez. Two of the first three batters that Jimmy Nelson has faced have had hits. That one by Piscotty, just a broken bat, humpback liner. A dying quail of sorts that got through. And now Martinez bats, and Jimmy Nelson trying to use that super sinker to get out of an inning. Martinez, 2 for 3, couple of home runs and a sacrifice fly in the first game of this doubleheader. First multi-homer game of his major league career. Hernan Perez at second base today. Orlando Arce at short, pinching the middle, double play depth. Nelson at the belt, and the pitch to Martinez. A strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. With all of the moves that the Brewers have needed to make over the last couple of days, it has left Colorado Springs and their roster in a little bit of peril. They have 21 active players that they can use tonight against. Down and away with a slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Does not make Rick Sweet's job, the AAA manager, very easy. But that's the hand they're dealt with, and they'll get after it. Big, tall, right-handed hitter Jose Martinez. .282 average. He's homered 3 times. 2 of those earlier today. Nelson checks his runners and throws. Missed down and away with a breaking ball. 2-1 on Martinez. Not one single cloud in the sky as we open up game number 2 of this doubleheader. Still nice and toasty, 93 degrees at game time. 2-1 pitch. Fouled straight back to the netting. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jimmy Nelson on a roll of late. Picked up a win against the Giants his last time out, despite not having his best stuff. Gave up 3 runs on 7 hits while striking out 6. Brewers would win that game 6-3 back on June 7th. Earned run average coming into today's action just a shade under 3.5. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Nelson lifts and deals. Lined foul right side. And Martinez hanging in there against Jimmy Nelson. Colton Wong waiting in the on-deck circle. First ever at-bat between Martinez and Nelson. Nelson looking in at the sign of Manny Pena. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outfielders playing straight up for Martinez. The kick and the pitch. Popped up, foul, out of play first base side. Count stays at 2-2. Tell you who might have the hardest job today. Brewers team equipment man Jason Schauger. Because players are going through undershirts almost by the inning. With the heat that's going on today in St. Louis and throughout this entire series. The laundry, the labeling, the altering, that's all on Schauger. Here's the 2-2. Down low and blocked by Pena nicely. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
He had to clean a jersey in the middle of the game in game 1. He's had lockers that have been turned over in the last 6 hours.
Yeah, the jersey cleanup that you mentioned, Brent Suter was going out to pitch after he had hit his first time up and was not using his bat. He didn't have a bat available, so he was using Chase Anderson's bat, put it underneath the sleeve of his left armpit to put his batting gloves on, and it left the pine tar residue underneath his jersey top. 3-2 as Nelson throws to first base, and back with the dive is Piscotty. See if he's running here with only one out. Home plate umpire Laz Diaz saw the pine tar under there and said, hey, you better get that off. So he had to shed the jersey, and there was some discrepancy on where to find the backup jersey within the trunk. So Jason Schauger went to town on the pine tar removal substance. Here's the pitch. Martinez chops to short, could be two. Arce to second for one. Back to first, a low throw, not in time. That'll score a run, and the Cardinals take a 1-0 lead. Really slow developing play at short. Arcia got it. A slight fumble between the glove and the hand with Arcia. And then the feed to Perez, a pretty good one, but Hernan Perez threw it right into the ground, almost like a spike towards first base. I don't think he wanted to throw it to first base because Martinez would have beat the throw, but instead of just eating it, followed through and threw a one-hopper. Here's Colton Wong, and the pitch to him misses outside, ball one. Potential inning-ending double play goes for naught. Instead, it's an RBI fielder's choice for Martinez. He has 4 RBIs on the day. Colton Wong, he's been hot of late since coming off the disabled list. Had an RBI double in game one. Throw to first and Martinez back. Brewers put the shift on again for Colton Wong. 3 on the right side of the infield. And Nelson's 1-0. Strike called inside edge. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 1-1. So just to finish the thought on Suter's pine tar removal from the bat, Jason Schauger, team equipment man, able to get rid of it, but he had a huge wet spot underneath his left shoulder for that entire inning. Pitch to Wong. Tapped foul off his front foot. It's 1-2. But in this heat, a wet spot from pine tar removal substance and sweat, not really discernible. One ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Cardinals with a first inning run against Jimmy Nelson.
Splitting hairs at that point.
1-2 on its way. Swing and a miss. Got him with a high fastball. And Jimmy Nelson able to work out of the first inning without any further damage. Cardinals get a run on a couple of hits. Strand one. An inning in the book. St. Louis 1, Brewers nothing.
It's been said that there's safety in numbers, but there can also be savings in numbers with Association Plus from West Bend. Just by being a member of a group or association like teachers or dentists, you can get it
at the luxurious Drift Spa. Check it out online at islandresortandcasino.com.
Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ.
Brewers chasing a run as they hit in the top of the second inning. Marco Gonzalez back to work for St. Louis. Our contestant in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino Pays Big 21 contest tonight, Linda Danilis from Milwaukee, or Daniels, D-A-N-I-L-E-S. Linda from Milwaukee. Here's the pitch on its way to Shaw. Misses outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Total score adds up to 21. Linda will win $5,000 from Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Firekeepers Club member, an additional $5,000 in reward play. Shaw bounces to second base. Wong easily to his left. Gloves a big second hop. Throws to Carpenter. 1 up and 1 down in the second inning. For complete details, visit BrewersRadioNetwork.com. Good luck, Linda. Hernan Perez. Couple of hits in the first game of our doubleheader. 2 for 4. Base hit to center and a infield knock. Batting average for Perez at .275. First pitch to him, squares to bunt, pulls it back and takes a ball down low. 1 ball and no strikes on tonight's second baseman, Hernan Perez, starting at his 6th position. The 1-0. Hit in the air, right field, peeling over to Piscotti. Makes the catch, puts away Perez. 2 up and 2 down. Manny Pena coming up. And Marco Gonzalez, his first big league appearance since 2015. Again, had that Tommy John surgery during the 2016 season, right at the beginning of it. Missed all of last year. Here comes the windup and the first pitch to Pena. It's a little low. 1 ball, no strikes. You okay over there, Lane?
I'm all right.
All right.
I had a visitor buzzing around my head.
1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think I intimidated him.
Clearly he's gone.
Left the premises.
We had a Hornet in the booth earlier in the game today. In game 1, the 1-1 pitch. Inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. That was exciting for a couple of minutes. Remember last year there was a rather large insect with a stinger that got trapped in here overnight. 2-1 pitch. Hit on a line, but right at the third baseman, Greg Garcia, third. Pena struck it well, but it's another 1-2-3 inning for Gonzalez and the Cardinals. Bottom of the second coming up. 1-0 St. Louis.
This fan update is brought to you by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Hit the jackpot with another exciting Brewers promotion.
Carefully, dream fearlessly.
Menards has great deals going on right now during the Father's Day.
620 WTMJ.
Aledmys Diaz coming up in the bottom of the second inning against Brewers right-hander Jimmy Nelson. Brewers baseball brought to you in part by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Pretty easy work for Marco Gonzalez in the second. Needed just 8 pitches to navigate through Shaw, Perez, and Pena. He's clean through the first 2. Nelson looking for a clean second inning. Diaz, Garcia, and Friars scheduled. It's a team that Jimmy Nelson has never defeated in his career. 10 games, 9 starts. He's 0-8. Pitch to Diaz. Hit in the air down the left field line. Brinson angling now onto the warning track, able to make the catch. And Diaz flies to left. 1 pitch and 1 out in the Cardinals' half of the second inning. Bring up Greg Garcia. Nelson started against St. Louis back on the 23rd of April. That was at home at Miller Park. 4 runs, 3 earned on 5 hits and 5 1/3. Walked a season-high 6 in that game. Really the only game that he's struggled command-wise. Pitch to Garcia, taking all the way and taking high. 1 ball, no strikes. Garcia 0 for 3 with a walk in the opener of this doubleheader. Started at shortstop. 1-0 pitch. And Greg Garcia took it down and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Garcia, left-handed hitter. Here comes his 2-0 pitch, high and away. 3 balls, no strikes. Native of just outside of San Diego, Greg Garcia. Baseball in his blood. 3 balls, no strikes. Here it is, and that's a strike. Upper part of the strike zone, and it's 3-1. From Valhalla High School in El Cajon to the east of San Diego. The pitch on away at 3-1. That's high and away. Greg Garcia now draws the walk. Eric Fryer coming up. Certainly a double play situation with the slow-footed catcher coming up. And Greg's grandfather, Dave Garcia, native of East St. Louis, was a manager in the major leagues. California Angels and the Cleveland Indians, late 70s, early 80s, his tenure as a manager in the big leagues. Brother played with the White Sox for a while. Here's the stretch and the pitch to Fryer. Down and away from Nelson. 1 ball, no strikes. Eric Fryer, longtime minor leaguer, finally got a crack at the big leagues with the Pirates a couple of years ago. He was St. Louis last year. Backed up Yadier Molina. 1-0 pitch. Off the inside corner. 2 balls and no strikes on Fryer. Fryer has made 1 appearance against the Brewers this year. 1 out of 3 with a run batted in. Good lead from Garcia, and the 2-0 pitch from Nelson. Hit in the air, shallow right center. Out is Perez. In comes Santana. It will be Domingo calling off Hernan and making the catch. Fly out to right field, and Marco Gonzalez. Pitcher will be the batter with 2 outs and a man on at first base. Marco, left-handed all the way. Throws left, bats left. Two-way player back at Gonzaga University, where he was the 19th overall selection by St. Louis. Here's the pitch to Marco. It's in for a strike, and it's 0-1. That was back in 2013. Made his major league debut the following season in 14. Rapid riser through the system. Nelson delivers. Ground ball right side, a base hit for Marco Gonzalez. He's now 4 out of 11 in his big league career at the plate. 2 outs, single to right. And he'll bring up Matt Carpenter, who doubled and scored back in the first. And he has had good success against Jimmy Nelson in the past.
Gonzalez looks comfortable with the bat in his hands. You just talked about how he was a two-way player in college. And he looks different when he holds the bat compared to some guys when they stand up there. You can tell he likes to get in that batter's box.
Friendly competition with he and Adam Wainwright, who also likes to swing the bat in that Cardinals dugout. Brewers know that first and foremost. He single-handedly beat the Crew earlier this year. A 2-run homer and a 3-run double. That was back in April at Miller Park. Here's Carpenter. First pitch to him. Slider down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Fans, baseball's brightest stars take its biggest stage. Miami hosts the Midsummer Classic. You can make sure your hometown nine are well represented by going to Brewers.com and casting a ballot filled with Brewers. Vote up to 5 times a day, 35 times total. Hard to believe All-Star break is coming up pretty quickly, less than a month away. Nelson delivers on 1-0. Slider for a strike. It's 1-1.
Hard to believe this is game 66. Feels like the Rockies were just getting to town.
The Brewers a game over 500, still in first place. Lead the Cubs by a game entering play today. Cubs throttling the Mets at the moment, 9-1. 1-1 on Carpenter. Still not a game left in this one. Here's the pitch. It's low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Joe Madden putting Anthony Rizzo in the leadoff spot today. He's had the leadoff spot be a little bit of a revolving door down in Chicago. Had Kyle Schwarber there for the first 6 weeks of the season. Dropped him down as far as number 9. And Ben Zobrist in the leadoff spot, Ian Happ, and now today Anthony Rizzo. And lo and behold, hits a home run to lead off the game against Zach Wheeler. Nelson's 2-1 to Carpenter. Hit into right center. That's down for a base hit. Broxton trying to cut it off. He'll do so. Fires it back into the infield, but not before Greg Garcia scores. And it's 2-0 St. Louis. So a double and now a rocket for a single for Matt Carpenter off of Jimmy Nelson. It's 2-0 Cardinals, and Tommy Pham coming up. Carpenter is now 10 for 20 lifetime against Nelson. And now it's Tommy Pham, lifetime against Nelson. 3 out of 6, including his ground out in the first inning. And remember a couple of years ago, September in 2015, it was Tommy Pham who hit the comebacker off the side of Jimmy Nelson's head and forced him to miss the last couple of weeks of the season. Pitch on its way. Slider on the inside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Not that Jimmy Nelson thinks about that every time that Tommy Pham comes to the plate, but you know it's back there somewhere. 2-0 St. Louis. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Nelson deals. Ground ball hit to third. Easy play for Shaw. Straightens up, throws across in time, and Pham is retired to end the inning. A run on a couple of hits. Back-to-back 2-out hits at that. One to the pitcher, Marco Gonzalez. After 2 innings in St. Louis, 2-0 Cardinals.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can...
Made with the freshest meats, veggies, and cheeses. You take it home to bake it or grill it. Papa Murphy's, love at 425 degrees. Enjoy your yard bite-free this summer with Batsner Pest Control's mosquito program. Service starts in June. Book now for defense against mosquitoes, wasps, mice, and more. Call or visit Batsner.com.
Gonzalez just getting himself onto the field after he was stranded on base to end the bottom half of the second inning. So he'll take his time, get a couple of extra warm-up tosses. Steamy night, St. Louis. 93 degrees at game time. And the crew in this top of the third will send up Broxton, Arcia, and Nelson. Don't forget, fans, you can always text the booth. It's presented by U.S. Cellular. Text the word brew, followed by your name and where you're from, and a question to the number 82783. Could win tickets to an upcoming ball game. Make sure you visit BrewersRadioNetwork.com for more details. So used to saying Brewers.com for tickets. BrewersRadioNetwork.com for more details on texting the booth. Keon Broxton, 2 for his last 2. A home run in his last at-bat in Arizona. And a pinch hit single in the 9th inning of Game 1 this afternoon. Broxton, maybe this is the beginning of one of his hot streaks. Again, he has had the peaks and valleys this year. The deepest of valleys and the highest of peaks. Trying to find that middle ground as Gonzalez deals to Broxton. This is low. 1 ball, no strikes, with St. Louis leading 2-0 against Jimmy Nelson and the crew. Broxton has hit well against St. Louis this year. The 1-0 is a strike on the inside corner. It's 1-1. He's 10 for 20 against the Cardinals, including a 4-for-4 game here in St. Louis earlier this year. Almost hit for the cycle. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Chased a changeup off the plate away, 1-2. Brewers better get used to that changeup from Gonzalez. It's a good one. Got to keep their weight back and try not to pull it. Hit it back up the middle, go to right field with it. 1-2 coming. In on his hands, he drove it. Left center field. Back Martinez. It is gone. Into the flower bed over the left center field fence. And Keon Broxton cuts the deficit in half. It's 2-1. Marco Gonzalez, after throwing that changeup off the outside edge, tried to sneak a fastball in on his hands and couldn't do it. Broxton got the hands to it quickly, and he launches home run number 8. Another Wisconsin Lottery Powerball home run for the Crew. And now it's Orlando Arcia. The pitch. Arcia chops one to short. On it, Aledmys Diaz throws on the run to first, and Arcia is out number 1. Again, we've talked about Keon Broxton. When he is going hot. But when he's not, that's what you saw over the last 17 games, the 6 for 54. So it's a matter of getting that on an even keel and leveling it out so the peaks and the valleys aren't so drastic. Here's the pitch, and Jimmy Nelson takes it low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Regardless, if he's going on one of those peaks, ride it for a while.
Absolutely. The 1-0 to Nelson in there. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. He rode that last peak for about a month.
Yeah.
Hit nearly 340. 1-1 pitch to Nelson. Swing and a miss. And it's 1-2.
Kind of shows you how good Domingo Santana's been going, because those two kind of started to turn the corner around the same time, and Domingo has not slowed down at all.
No, he is maintained. 1-2 pitch, choking up, and now guiding one to the right side is Jimmy Nelson. Wong picks and throws 2 away in the 3rd. Top of the order now in Lewis Brinson. Brewers trailing 2-1. Fans, the only thing better than an awesome Brewers t-shirt is an awesome Brewers t-shirt that you got for free. This Friday, Brewers are giving away a free fan-designed t-shirt. The first 20,000 fans at the ballpark. Be courtesy of Hupie and Abraham. Brinson the batter. Gonzalez deals. Brinson a big swing and a miss at a changeup, and it's 0-1. Brinson took a called 3rd strike in the 1st inning. One of those fluttering changeups from Gonzalez. 0-1 coming back. Hit foul right side. 2nd deck. And Brinson down to the count, 0-2. Since he had that sharp ground out in his first major league at bat, Brinson, it feels like, has been in an 0-2 count each time he's come to the plate since. Trying to bust out of it here. Down 2 strikes on Gonzalez. Here it is. Little slow roller up the 3rd baseline. Tough play, and it's bobbled by Garcia, and there's your first big league knock for Lewis Brinson. Brinson has a batting average officially. Infield single up the 3rd baseline. So the tying run is on base for Domingo Santana. It was just last year that Keon Broxton had his first major league hit in a very similar way. Little chopper up the 3rd baseline down in Atlanta. He picked up his first base hit. Way to go, Lewis. He's on base for Santana. Gonzalez kicks the leg and throws to first, and Brinson back standing.
That first hit avoided Broxton for almost 2 months. That was the end of May. He'd been down and up a few times already during the season, and he said that some of the guys were giving him a hard time for a swinging bunt being his first base hit. They said, I didn't care. I was just glad to get it Out of the way.
Ground ball up the middle, backhanded by Wong. He'll take it to the bag himself, beat Brinson there, and that will end the inning. Brinson in the hit column. Looks like a rocket in the book. Speaking of rockets, Broxton hit one out to left center. We go to the bottom of the third. Brewers trailing 2-1. The Brewers Radio Network salutes the troops serving this baseball season.
My name is Beth Brester from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'd like to recognize my son, Staff Sergeant Michael Brester, United States Marine Corps, serving out of Okinawa, Japan.
Window and door.
Concrete. It is the foundation. That's OZINGA.com.
This is what it sounds like.
I'll take the Rally Edition with racing stripes.
Hear the difference at your Chevy dealer and choose the SilveradoChevy.com.
Today's third inning is presented by Lucky Tiger, all natural shaving.
Back with you in St. Louis. Jimmy Nelson back to work against Stephen Piscotty in the middle of the order. Cardinals with a 2-1 lead. Before Piscotty comes up, 10 for identification. You are listening to the Brewers Radio Network.
The home of the Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. We are Wisconsin's radio station. WTMJ and WTMJ HD, Milwaukee.
St. Louis. Bottom of the third inning as Piscotty rolls the first pitch of the inning to third. Shaw's got it, throws to first. One away. One up and one down for Jose Martinez. Fans smile for every Brewer stolen base. They bag another donation for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Wisconsin. It's courtesy of Delta Dental. Martinez, RBI fielder's choice back in the first inning. He's had a nice day today against Brewers pitching. Nelson winds and fires, and Martinez taking all the way, takes the ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Along with Lane Grindle and our esteemed producer and engineer Kent Sommerfeld, Jeff Levering with you. Want to know the count? Nelson winds and deals. Down and away, 2 balls, no strikes. In between games of this doubleheader, cleaned out all of the fans that were here for game number 1. Brushed down the seats. Cooled them off a little bit. Redid the concession stands. A 2-0 pitch is a strike at the knees, and it's 2-1.
Jeff went out and ran stairs.
Man, it was hot out there. Kent went for a run.
Never one to take a day off from a workout, Jeff Levering.
No, you're right. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nelson deals, and he misses outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Some folks went back to the hotel to grab a bite to eat. Some went into the exercise room to bust out a 6-mile run. Some ran stairs. Some ate 7 slices of pizza. That's how you fill it. Here's the pitch. Down and away, and that's ball 4. So after the Piscotty ground out to third, Jimmy Nelson responds with a walk to Jose Martinez. Second walk on the ledger for Jimmy Nelson. Colton Wong will be the batter, struck out to end the first inning. Now, most facilities will provide a media meal before each game. The Cardinals did that before game number 1, but they had a notification that said it will not be open for dining between game 1 and game 2. All right. And a throw to first base has Martinez back. 1 ball, no strikes. So instead of having the full spread down for the media, they actually provided some pizza upstairs, because the writing press is above where the broadcast level is here in St. Louis. Nelson throws to Wong. Slider for his strike, and it's 0-1. Filled up. Probably a little more than we needed to.
That's
during Lane's innings. Might have to take a power nap.
It's a trend. Eating more than we should.
That's why we do the runs that we do. Wong fouls one off his front foot. 0-2.
You were running the stairs here at the stadium, and while that was impressive, I didn't join you, so I was watching. The one-handed push-ups you were doing in between sets is what I was really amazed by. You get to the top of the stadium, you'd be up there doing one-handed push-ups.
Have to. I mean, that's just part of the regimen. 0-2 as Nelson looks in, and the pitch up and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know, you just don't look like this without doing the work, Lane. You got to put in the work.
I learn something from you every day. I can't even do those diamond push-ups.
Ooh, those are good on the triceps.
They are. I can't do them. Regular ones?
1-2. Swing and a miss. Wong down on strikes again.
I'm good for about 10.
It's okay, Lane. We'll get there.
I'm better than that.
We'll get you on a program in the off season. You know, it might be a little late to get it going for 2017, but 2018, you're going to be locked in. Running stairs in pants and a sweatshirt when it's 98 degrees outside, like Rocky.
Yeah.
Only he was training in the winter in Siberia. Here's the pitch on its way, and it's a strike on Aledmys Diaz, and it's 0-1. Fly deep left his first time up. Cardinals with a 2-1 lead. Bottom of the third inning. Slight shift for Diaz, who's given the Brewers fits the last couple of years. And he fouls this one straight back for strike 2. Nelson trying to put up a 0 for the first time in this game. Single tallies for St. Louis in the first and second. Fielder's choice ground out by Martinez in the first, and the 2-out RBI hit by Carpenter. Oh, and to the count. Nelson looks at first. Not a big lead for Martinez. The set, and here he comes. Half swing and a miss. Aledmys Diaz down on strikes. Back-to-back punch-outs for Jimmy Nelson. We are through 3 in St. Louis. We head to the 4th. 2-1 Cardinals.
Take me out to the
4th inning is here. Cardinals with a 2-1 lead. Brewers will send up the middle of the order against Marco Gonzalez. Fans spend Father's Day with the crew. It's coming up on Sunday afternoon. Brewers take on the San Diego Padres. First 20,000 fans in attendance will receive a Brewers golf umbrella, courtesy of Palermo's Frozen Pizza. Marco Gonzalez back to work. It's 2-1. It's nap time for Jeff. That means Lane is back with the play-by-play.
We'll try to keep you awake over here.
I'm not going anywhere.
Jesus Aguilar steps in. A ground out to third. Back in the first inning. Gonzalez has been pretty effective so far tonight for the Cardinals as he misses upstairs. With a fastball at 89, it's 1-0. He has shown that good changeup, and that's been just enough to keep these right-handed hitters. An all right-handed lineup tonight for Craig Counsell. A little bit off balance. And he drops one in there that misses low and outside. 2-0 now, the count to Jesus Aguilar. Brewers with a couple of hits against Gonzalez. Both came in the last inning. Aguilar takes his strike on the outer half. It's 2-1. The home run from Broxton to left center. And then the swinging bunt single for Brinson. Both of those came back in that top of the third inning. Gonzalez pitch up and away, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike now to Jesus Aguilar. A 2-1 Cardinals lead. They plated a run in the first and a run in the second, and the Brewers playing from behind here tonight. 3-1 pitch to Aguilar, swing and a miss, and it's now 3-2. And Aguilar turning and asking Doug Eddings if that was a strike that he just swung at. Here's the pitch. And Aguilar hits it in the air, but foul and out of play, first base side. And the count stays 3 balls and 2 strikes now. There have been guys on this roster this year that have surprised. There were guys last year that surprised. They weren't necessarily considered big-time prospects. Maybe some people had moved on from them. Aguilar turns on this pitch, hits it to deep left field. Martinez going back to the track. He looks up. It is gone. Jesus Aguilar ties this game up at 2 with a solo shot here in the 4th. Home run number 6 on the season for Aguilar. And a couple of solo home runs from the Brewers. Broxton in the 3rd, Aguilar here in the 4th. And we're tied at 2 as Travis Shaw comes to the plate. Aguilar, with all that strength and all that power, has really started to come on. Came out of the gate strong this year. Then Eric Thames got so hot, it was hard to get Aguilar regular at-bats. Craig Counsell eventually finding ways to get him back in there more often as the pitch comes upstairs to Travis Shaw. 1-0. And Aguilar has responded in a big fashion over the last month of the season or so. And that was a well-struck ball to left field. Shaw takes a pitch out of the zone, and it's 2-0. Just to the right of the Brewers bullpen and up into the stands. The 2-0 pitch to Shaw, and Shaw turns on this one. This is high, this is deep, and it is gone. Travis Shaw gives the Brewers a 3-2 lead. The 3rd solo home run of this contest, and Shaw's 11th of the season. 2 Wisconsin Lottery Powerball home runs in this inning for the Crew, and they are punishing Marco Gonzalez here in this top of the 4th.
Shaw just totally unloaded on this fastball on the outside edge. Hooked it into the bleachers and right. Majestic shot.
Here's Hernan Perez, and Perez takes a strike. It's 0-1. And I'm sure that feels good for the Brewers after getting shut out in game 1. Having a hard time stringing some hits together in that first game. Perez takes it low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. To put some good swings on the baseball here over the last 2 innings. And now they lead at 3-2, and Jimmy Nelson has to like that. Pitching with a lead now. Here's the 1-1 to Perez. Sharply hit ground ball. Garcia gobbles it up at 3rd and throws across the diamond for the first out of the inning. Back-to-back home runs from Aguilar and Shaw. And now 1 down for Manny Pena. Pena lined out, hit it well, but right at Garcia back in the 2nd inning. 3-2 Brewers lead. Gonzalez up to 50 pitches now, working here in this top of the 4th. Here's the first pitch to Manny Pena. It misses low and outside. 1-0.
This has been an offense all year, Lane, that has been dictated on the home run ball. 91 on the year now.
Unbelievable the power the Brewers have shown. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that one misses. It's 2-0. And I think probably one of the things that makes it so amazing, think about it, Chris Carter last year led the NL in home runs. He's not on this team. And Ryan Braun, who hit 30 a year ago, has been hurt for a good chunk of this season. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and Pena lifts this one to deep left field. Martinez is back. It's off the wall. Pena with a little hesitation around first. Now he's digging for 2, and the throw is an errant throw and not handled by Wong. And so into second with the double is Manny Pena. And that one was just a couple of feet away from being the third home run of the inning for the Brewers, as Pena gave that a ride out to left field. And another $50 donated to the MAC Fund, courtesy of West Bend, the Silver Lining, with that double from Manny Pena. And Pena had just a little bit of a hesitation as he rounded first, and Martinez was up and throwing to second, and the throw came in, and Wong couldn't handle it, and Pena was into second base. So here's Keon Broxton. Brewers looking for a little bit more. Runner at second, and just one out. Broxton with that home run back in the third to get the scoring started for the Crew. Gonzalez pitch to Broxton. Low and outside, 1-0. Badger Mutual Insurance, the heart of your insurance protection for your auto, home, and business. Protect what matters most with people you can trust. Badger Mutual Insurance. Top of the fourth, 3-2 Brewers lead. Gonzalez looks at second, brings home the pitch to Broxton, and that missed downstairs. Eric Thames, who had the big stretch in April with all those home runs, at 16 leads the Crew, but boy, Domingo Santana and Travis Shaw both with 11 apiece now. Here's the 2-0 to Broxton. Missed up and away, and it's 3-0. And while Thames has the big number with 16 and Shaw and Santana behind him with 11, the other reason why the Brewers among the league leaders in home runs is the balance of the lineup. Broxton, big swing, no contact on a 3-0 pitch, and it's 3-1 strike now. Yeah, Broxton, who now has 8. Perez has 9. Even Orlando Arcia has contributed 4 home runs this season. There are a lot of guys that can hurt you with the deep ball in this Brewers lineup. 3-1 now to Broxton. Runner at second and 1 away. Gonzalez pitch. That's turned on. That's hit to deep left. Martinez is back. He's at the warning track. He looks up, and it is gone for Keon Broxton. No, it's off the wall. Broxton racing around second and digging into third with a 2-run triple. Or a 1-run triple, excuse me. Just hit right off the top of the wall out there in left field in front of the bullpen of the Brewers. And Broxton was staring at it as well. Looked like it might get out of here. Martinez turned and looked at it. And Broxton really hit that one, and it just hit off the screening of the bullpen out there in left center. Pena scores from second. It's now a 4-2 Brewers lead, and it's a triple for Keon Broxton. So this has been a good go here in the fourth for the Brewers. Where that ball hit, you just kind of lost it for a second, since there was no padding in front of it. And now Mike Matheny coming out of the Cardinals dugout, and that's going to be it for Marco Gonzalez. Brebbia, who pitched in game 1, was up and warming. He pitched a 1-2-3 inning in game 1, and that's going to be it for Marco Gonzalez. The U.S. Cellular call to the bullpen's been made. Brewers with a 4-2 lead here in the top of the fourth inning. Marco Gonzalez's day is done, and John Brebbia is the new pitcher for St. Louis. Brebbia pitched in game 1 of this doubleheader today, and he pitched a clean inning. Back in that 6th inning, a couple of ground outs hit a fly out. And he comes on with just 1 out and a runner at third. And Keon Broxton, this inning, a solo home run from Aguilar, a solo home run from Shaw. Perez grounded out. Pena with a double off the wall. And Broxton with a triple off the wall out in left field. And the infield in for the Cardinals here with 1 out. Trying to keep it at a 4-2 game. Brebbia working out of the stretch. brings home the pitch, and Arcia trying to put down a bunt, bunts through the pitch, and a throw back down to third, and Broxton diving back in there before Garcia could gather the throw. 0-1 on Arcia. Arcia grounded out back in the third inning. Arcia's been going good here recently, but he did go 0 for 3 in game 1 today. A couple of strikeouts. Revia looking. Comes set and brings home the pitch. It was a pitch out. And Broxton not going anywhere at third, just a few steps down the line. 1 ball and 1 strike now, the count. So it's been a extra base fest for the Brewers here in the fourth. 2 home runs, a double, and a triple. Revy is 1-1 to Arcia. Missed down and away. And it's 2-1. Revia making his 7th appearance of the season. 6 innings, 2 hits, and 2 earned runs against him so far this year. Right-handed thrower. Brings home the 2-1 to Arcia, and Arcia chopped it foul at the plate, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Crowd filling in nicely here tonight at Busch. Had a decent afternoon crowd, but much bigger crowd here tonight, as you would expect. Broxton at third, still just 1 out in the inning. Brewers would love to get that run home. Revia's pitch. Ground ball left side. Broxton breaking for home. Garcia up with it. The throw home, not in time. Actually bobbled by Fryer, the catcher. And Broxton able to get in there. And it's a 5-2 Brewers lead. And Arcia going to be safe at first on a fielder's choice. The throw beat Broxton there, but it was down. And Fryer had to kind of trap it. And after he had done that, by the time he collected it and went to go apply the tag, Broxton had snuck that right foot in there on the plate. And Mike Matheny holding things up. You might want to take a look at this. And now he says no. So 5 runs already on the board for the Brewers. 4 here in this top of the 4th inning. Arcia drives in his 20th of the season. And he stands at first base, still just 1 away. And Jimmy Nelson coming to the plate. And the 5 runs means for $5 you'll get 5 burgers at any George Webb restaurant. Revia comes set. Brings home the pitch. And Nelson trying to bunt it. Bunts it in the air. And Fryer, the catcher in foul territory, will make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. So now 2 down. And Lewis Brinson coming to the plate. Brinson, the 8th batter of the inning for the Brewers. Brinson got that first base hit back in the 3rd inning. One for 8 in his young career in a Brewers uniform. His 3rd game of action. Started Sunday against the Diamondbacks. Played in game 1 of the doubleheader today. Fouls this up and out of play. He went 0 for 2 on Sunday. And Brinson 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts in the first game this afternoon. Nothing in 1. The count here to Brinson. Revia comes set at the chest, now turns and fires over to first, and Arcia diving back in there head first in time. Brewers with 2 home runs in this inning, a double, a triple, and they've plated 4. And they lead it 5-2 here, and looking for a little bit more. Brevia kicks and brings home the pitch, and time was called by Brinson. So the pitch does not count, and the count remains 0-1. So those 5 runs, as we told you, for $5, 5 burgers at George Webb Restaurants until midnight tomorrow night. Brewers hoping they don't stop at 5 runs here today. Did not score in the first game and trying to make up for it a little bit here in game 2. Brevia's 0-1. Called strike on the outer edge, and it's 0-2. Fastball at 94 that time from Brevia. Arcia with a healthy lead at first, being held on by Carpenter. And the pitch. And Brinson took it low and outside. It's 1-2. Lewis Brinson, physically one of the more impressive guys you will see in the Brewers organization. Big, tall, strong, can really run and go get it in center field. A lot of power at the plate. There goes Arcia. Pitch is low and outside. The throw to second. Not in time. Arcia able to sneak in there in front of the throw to Diaz. And Orlando Arcia collects the stolen base. And the Brewers have a runner in scoring position now with 2 away. And a 2-2 count on Brinson. Another donation for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Wisconsin, courtesy of Delta Dental with that Delta Dental stolen base. So 2-2 now here on Brinson. Arcia's 4th stolen base of the season. Here's the pitch. Brinson fouls it back our way and out of play. And the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brewers using the long ball. Just a lot of hard hit balls here tonight. They really squared up Marco Gonzalez. After Gonzalez retired the first 6 that he faced, it was a different story after that. That second time through specifically was very productive. Called 3rd strike on the outer edge to Brinson. He was not convinced of it. He turned and kind of threw his hands up and now is headed back to the third base dugout. But the Brewers play 4 runs in the top of the 4th. They lead at 5-2.
On game day, you don't have to look far for a great tasting light beer.
And friends. Study family and friends. Study after study shows Wisconsin roads are in rough shape. Everyone knows good roads improve safety and help grow our economy.
This message brought to you by the Wisconsin Transportation Builders Association, supporting Wisconsin's economy one road at a time.
Lincoln Contractor Supply and Fabic Rents, with 9 statewide alliance locations.
620 WTMJ.
All fans in attendance for the Brewers match up with the Pirates on Monday, June 19th. We'll receive an Eric Thames Revere the Beard t-shirt, courtesy of BP Come On Back Club. Plus, it's a Miller High Life Monday. Terrace Reserve tickets are just $6. Greg Garcia leads off the bottom of the 4th inning against Jimmy Nelson. 5-2 Brewers lead. And the first pitch from Nelson misses down and in. It's 1-0. Brewers with a 4-run top half of this inning. And Jimmy Nelson pitching with the lead for the first time tonight. And the pitch comes in upstairs to Garcia. It's 2-0. Greg Garcia walked and scored back in the 2nd inning. Nelson brings home the 2-0. And that's in there for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike now. The count to Greg Garcia. Garcia started and played shortstop in game 1 today. He is at 3rd base tonight. Vladimir Diaz back in there. Jed Jerko with the night off. And a swing and a foul back to the screen, and now it's 2-2 to Garcia. Nelson hoping for a quick shutdown inning here after the Brewers just gave him 4 runs of support in the top half of the inning. You got the home run from Keon Broxton in that third inning and came back and was able to work a fairly quick bottom of the third and put up his first zero of the night. Misses with a fastball inside here, and now the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Garcia, Fryer, and Gonzalez. Well, not Gonzalez anymore. He's gone from the game. Likely a pinch hitter. Unless Brebbia hits for himself. Due up in this inning. Here's a little bloop into center field, and that's going to get in there for a base hit off the bat of Garcia. So a single. 5th hit of the game for the Cardinals off of Nelson. And the leadoff man aboard now for Eric Fryer. And Chad Huffman has a bat. It looks like he's going to hit for the pitcher's spot here. He is on deck. So runner at first and nobody away for Fryer. Fryer flied out to right back in the second inning. Nelson looking in. Brings home the pitch. In there for a strike. It's 0-1. Doug Eddings calling our balls and strikes tonight behind the plate. He was not on the field in game 1. Laz Diaz, who was behind the plate in game 1, not in the field here tonight. Fryer chop suit foul at the plate. It's 0-2. Diaz had a nice wide strike zone this afternoon in game 1. Eddings looks like he's going to give that high strike to the pitchers tonight. Jimmy's been able to benefit from that a few times. Maybe a little bit liberal on the inside part of the plate to right-handed hitters as well is Doug Eddings. And Nelson just missed inside there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fryer, a right-handed hitter, hitting an even 200 on the season. And now time is called as Doug Eddings comes out and stops play for a moment. Runner at first is Garcia. He's reached both times tonight, a walk and a single now. And Fryer with a 1-2 count against him. Nelson trying to work through this bottom of the 4th inning here. Keep the score where it is. 5-2 Brewers lead. This pitch down and in the dirt. Blocked by Manny Pena. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Cardinals and Brewers. 2 more after this one. Tomorrow night and then Thursday night. And then the Brewers going home to start up a week-long homestand against the Padres and the Pirates. The pitch from Nelson. Ground ball could be 2. Arcia has it. Flips to second for 1. Perez's throw to first is in time. A 6-4-3 double play. Arcia to Perez to Aguilar. And there's 2 down and nobody on now for the pinch hitter Chad Huffman. So a nice double play turn by the crew. And here's Huffman, who was a pinch hitter back in game 1. He was able to hit that triple back in that big 5th inning, the 3-run 5th for the Cardinals. And Huffman stands in. 2 down, nobody on. And he lines this over the head of Arcia and into left field for a base hit. Picks on the first one he gets from Nelson. And Huffman's been a tough out so far today for the Brewers. Triple in game 1, a single here. That is the 6th hit off of Jimmy Nelson so far tonight. And there's a 2-out base runner for Matt Carpenter. Summer, my favorite season. We are feeling it now. It's been hot back in Wisconsin. It's hot here in St. Louis. Fishing, baseball, grilling. I have gotten all 3 of those things in the last couple of days. Summer in Wisconsin, something special. And a grill full of my favorite summer food, Usinger sausage, pretty special also. One of Wisconsin's first sausage makers back in the 1800s, and still the best today. Usinger still making America's finest sausage. Carpenter steps in there, takes a strike. It's 0-1. Matt Carpenter, a double in the first, an RBI single in the second. He is 10 for 20 lifetime against Jimmy Nelson. He has really been able to see the ball well when he's faced Nelson over the years. And the 0-1 to Carpenter. And Carpenter hits this in the air to right field. Backing up is Santana. A couple of steps in front of the warning track. And he makes the catch. And the inning is over. So Nelson gets the big double play ball, then the fly ball, and gets out of the fourth without any damage. We go to the fifth. Brewers lead the Cardinals 5-2.
At Quick Trip, we hit the road early. We've got a lot of...
For more information, see 5hourenergy.com.
National Car Rental present Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ.
5-2 Brewers lead. Top of the fifth inning here in St. Louis. Brett Cecil is the new pitcher for the Cardinals. Cecil 0-2 with a 5.66 ERA, making his 30th appearance of the season. He has had his struggles this year. Opponents hitting .306 against Cecil. He was one of their big acquisitions. The headlining acquisition for the Cardinals in the offseason was Dexter Fowler. But Brett Cecil was another one of their big moves. He was brought in to be one of those late inning leverage guys for the Cardinals, and they've kind of had to remove him from those types of spots. He faces Domingo Santana. And Santana, first pitch swing. Ground ball to short. Diaz up with it. The throw's low, but dug out by Carpenter. And there's one out. And that brings up Jesus Aguilar, who got the party started in the fourth with his solo home run to the right of the Brewers bullpen out there in left field. It was followed up by another home run off the bat of Travis Shaw. So Aguilar taking a little bit of time, kicking some dirt off the cleats before he digs in here. Get a good look at Cecil, the left-hander. And the first pitch brought home, and Aguilar took it for a strike. It's 0-1. Schneider, an industry-leading trucking company, asks you to drive safe. Remember, if you're behind a semi, can't see their mirrors, they cannot see you. Safety first and always, Schneider. The pitch, Aguilar swings through that off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2. One down, nobody on. Top of the fifth inning here in St. Louis. Cecil's pitch. Ground ball right back into his glove. And he turns and throws from the mound to Carpenter to retire Aguilar, and quickly 2 down for the Brewers here in this fifth inning. And that brings up Travis Shaw. Good to get Travis Shaw back today with the crew. And good to see him launch that home run back in the fourth. His 11th of the season. Shaw stepping in here. 5-2 Brewers lead. Both teams with 6 hits in this one. It has turned out to be a rather pleasant evening here in St. Louis. Shaw takes it for a strike, and it's 0-1. It was scorching hot when we got to the ballpark this morning, and continued really throughout the game today. This afternoon's game was a very hot afternoon to play baseball. The 0-1 to Shaw missed upstairs, 1-1. But it has cooled off a bit as the evening has wore on, and not a bad night at all. Cecil's 1-1 to Shaw, and Shaw hits this in the air to left field. Shallow left, Martinez racing in, calling for it, and he makes the catch, and the inning is over. Brewers retired in order in the fifth. We're halfway through here in St. Louis. Brewers leading the Cardinals 5-2.
Fans, it's time for the freebie in the 5th inning contest, sponsored by the Ticket King. The 25th call.
You'll get approval in minutes on a loan of up to $2,500 with no credit check, no hidden fees, and instant funding in store. And with the Refer a Friend program at Americash, you're on AmericashLoans.net. That's AmericashLoans.net. Americash Loans. Restricted.
The 5th inning is served up by...
This Saturday is Faith Day in Miller Park, presented by Thrivent Financial. The Brewers host the San Diego Padres at 3 p.m. And after the game, Mercy Me will perform a post-game concert free for all fans in attendance. 5-2 Brewers lead, bottom of the 5th inning. Jimmy Nelson back out there on the mound for the Crew. Tommy Pham, Stephen Piscotty, Jose Martinez all due up against Nelson here in this 5th. Pham a couple of ground ball outs to third base. Nelson has the one he wants from Pena. The first pitch to Pham. Breaking ball missed inside, 1-0. Nelson's 1-0 offering hit him. Ran in and hit Tommy Pham. And Pham with a not so pleasant flip of the bat as he jogs up the first base line to take his base. Pham took his time before he started jogging. He came in, looked like got him on the left, above the elbow maybe. And Tommy Pham is aboard with nobody out. And here's Stephen Piscotty, who singled back in the first inning. He grounded out in the third. He's 1 for 2 here this evening. Nelson looking over his shoulder at Pham. Now comes set at the belt, brings home the pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. And it's 0-1. Piscotty with a little look of disbelief for a second before he steps back into the box. Piscotty hitting .261, 4 home runs. He's driven 8-18 on the season. Nelson with a couple of scoreless innings in the 3rd and 4th after giving up a run in the 1st and 2nd. Pitch missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Piscotty. Cardinals have won 4 in a row after losing 7 in a row. Told you during game 1, if you were listening, this has been a little bit of a streaky team at times this year. Chopper bounced to second. Perez to Arcia for 1. The relay to first is in time. And a 4-6-3 double play, and a pretty nifty one at that, turned by the Brewers. And the bases wiped clean. 2 outs and nobody on now for Jose Martinez. That was a chopper to second. Perez did a good job of coming up and playing the ball, not letting it play him. Backhanded flip to Arcia. And Arcia with that strong arm able to fire it back across to Aguilar in plenty of time to double up Piscotty. So 2 down for Martinez. He has driven in a run in this game. 4 total for the day, and he takes his strike. And it's 0-1. Martinez with a couple of home runs in game number 1 today. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, and it's 0-2 now on Martinez. Brewers baseball brought to you by Henry's Hard Soda, an adult beverage available in orange ginger ale, cherry cola, and new grape. Henry's Hard Soda. Live hard-ish. Martinez. Big dude. Has some power, and he's shown it so far today. This pitch came up and in. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 6'7", 225 pounds for Jose Martinez. When the Cardinals came to town back in April, and you looked up and you saw Martinez out there in right field, you almost did a double take. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Nelson strikes out Martinez, puts another 0 on the board. We go to the 6th. Brewers 5, Cardinals 2.
The summer of Camry is in full swing with savings you'll have to see to believe.
Hoppers like Frank Thomas, Frank Robinson, and Frank Howard.
How about Frank White and Frank Malzone?
Oh, yeah, and don't forget Frankie Frisch.
And let's not forget Frank Viola.
On the hill, give me Frank Tanana.
But none can measure up to Usinger's Frank Furter, the greatest Frank.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could buy something and then if it turns out later you brings out our best? Visit thesilverlining.com.
620 WTMJ.
We go to the 6th inning here in St. Louis. Brewers with a 5-2 lead over the Cardinals, and Hernan Perez set to lead things off. Red Cecil back out there on the mound for the Cardinals for his second inning of duty. On the mound for Mike Matheny. And Perez bunts it up the first baseline. Cecil comes off the mound, fields it, throws to first, but Perez able to beat it out. Cecil really did everything he could there to field that one spin and throw, but Perez with an infield single, and the Brewers have a man aboard and nobody out here in the 6th. The 6th inning is the Woodman's Food Market's home run inning. Our contestant is Danil Root from Onalaska. Danil will win a gift card jackpot of $750 if a member of the crew hits a home run this inning. $100 will be added to the total for each additional home run this inning. Visit any participating Woodman's store to enter. Service and savings, that's Woodman's. So here's Manny Pena. Pena doubled back in that 4th inning. He is 1 for 2. And Cecil's first pitch to him. Missed up and in. And it's 1-0. Brewers with a run in the 3rd and 4 in the 4th. Meanwhile, the Cardinals played at a run apiece in the 1st and 2nd innings, and they've been held scoreless by Jimmy Nelson ever since. Here's a throw over to first, and Hernan Perez back in plenty of time. Manny Pena, who has been such a steady contributor behind the plate, but also at the plate this year for the crew. Catcher was definitely one of the question marks coming into this season, and it's turned into a strength. Here's a throw to first. Perez was off and running, and they're going to have him at second base. Cecil stepped off through to Carpenter, and Carpenter fired to Wong, who was able to apply the tag, and Perez caught stealing. And there's one out now. 1, 3, and 4 if you were scoring at home. And it's 1-0 here to Manny Pena. Here's the pitch, and that's in there for a strike at the letters. 1-1. Keon Broxton is due up next. Boy, he's had a night. A home run and a triple. Broxton starting to get it going again. Pena pops it up behind home plate. It's going to get out of play. And it's 1-2 now on Manny Pena. Fryer shed the mask and gave it a look, but barely moved. It was well out of play behind home plate. Pittsburgh held on to beat Colorado tonight 5-2. Swing and a miss. And did Pena get a piece of it? He did. And so he'll hang in there to see another pitch, and it'll stay at 1-2. Garrett Cole pitched well for the Pirates in that one. Andrew McCutchen hit a couple of home runs for the Pirates tonight. Here's the pitch from Cecil, and Pena with a good cut, but a foul back to the screen, and the count stays at 1-2. Cubs continuing that rout of the Mets, 12-1. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Rizzo has homered, Happ has homered, Chris Bryant has homered, Jason Hayward has homered for the Cubs in that one. So a ball and 2 strikes now on Manny Pena. And Cecil's pitch missed up and in. And the count evens now at 2-2. Cecil came on in the 5th inning and worked a quick 1-2-3 inning. A couple of ground balls and a fly ball. Perez with a leadoff bunt single against him, but then was put out on the bases. And now working on Pena with 1 out and nobody on. Pena fouls this pitch off. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brewers still in first place. They've been enjoying life at the top of the NL Central. A win tonight would obviously keep them there. Fouled up and out of play by Pena, and pretty good at bat being put together right now by the Brewers catcher. Cubs look like they're well on their way to winning. So if the Brewers would hold on and win, they would stay a game up on the Cubs. That's where they currently sit. And a called 3rd strike on the inner part of the plate. And Pena heads back to the dugout. And there's 2 down now for Keon Broxton. And before Broxton steps in, let's pause 10 seconds for station ID on the Brewers Radio Network.
The home of the Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. We are Wisconsin's radio station, WTMJ and WTMJ HD, Milwaukee.
With Jeff Levering and our producer and engineer, Ken Sommerfeld, I'm Lane Grindle from St. Louis. 5-2 Brewers lead. Keon Broxton stepping in with 2 outs and nobody on against Brett Cecil. And the first pitch from Cecil misses outside, 1-0. Long day at the ballpark for both of these teams. Brewers playing a little better brand of baseball so far here in game number 2. Swing and a miss from Broxton, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. They have had some good swings on the baseball in this second game. They have made the ones they've connected on count. 5 runs on 7 hits for the Crew tonight. Here's the 1-1. That one missed low and outside. 2-1 now the count. Cincinnati, the other team in the NL Central, they're in San Diego, and they'll get started a little bit later on tonight against the Padres. 2-1 pitch to Broxton. Fouled back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Old friend Scooter Gennett named the Major League Baseball Player of the Week for last week with that 4 home run game. Was there ever any doubt he was going to get that honor?
He could have gone 0 for the rest of the week, and he was going to be the NL Player of the Week.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Broxton here. And Cecil's pitch. Down and in, and now the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It was an okay day.
Yeah. Aaron Judge was the American League Player of the Week, and that feels like they just throw the same press release and hand it out at the end of every week right now. What that guy is doing, 22 home runs now for the New York Yankees. Just amazing. Here's the 3-2, and taken for a call, 3rd strike by Keon Broxton. Cecil strikes out Pena and Broxton to get through the top half of the 6th. We go to the bottom of 6. Brewers 5, Cardinals 2.
WTMJ News Update. I'm Belinda.
Potawatomi presents Summer Treasures. A fortune valued at over $150,000 will be discovered, with single gems worth up to $10,000. Summer Treasures, playing Thursdays June 8th through 29th, only at Potawatomi.
7170. Estimates are free.
Get up and go
to your local.
The Crew is back in action at Miller Park this upcoming Friday, June 16th. The Brewers and the Padres open up a weekend set at Miller Park, and the first 20,000 fans in attendance will receive a free fan-designed Brewers t-shirt courtesy of Hupy and Abraham. Jimmy Nelson still out there on the mound. Just 70 pitches so far for Nelson as he works in the bottom of the 6th. And Colton Wong to lead things off against him. And Nelson's pitch is in there for a strike as Wong tried to hold back and check his swing, but he offered at it. And it's 0-1. Colton Wong, a couple of strikeouts tonight. Nelson's pitch to him. That missed low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike now. Nelson bringing home the 1-1 to Wong, and that one missed low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Brewers shifted to the right side against Wong. Arcia in shallow right, playing between Perez and Aguilar. Shaw by himself on the left side. Nelson's 2-1 to Wong. Popped him up, foul territory. Long run for Shaw and Pena. Neither will get there. It falls just in front of the screen near the on-deck circle. And it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nelson and Wong have faced off quite a bit over the years. Coming into this game, Wong was 7 for 21 with 5 strikeouts. But Nelson's been able to put 2 more Ks in the history column against Wong tonight. So now 7 of 23 with 7 strikeouts for Wong against Nelson. Nelson's 2-2 pitch. Line back up the middle and into center field for a base hit for Colton Long. So leadoff single for the Cardinals. And that's the 3rd consecutive inning that the Cardinals have had their leadoff man aboard. Garcia led off with a single in the 4th, but then the double play. Pham was hit by a pitch to lead off the 5th, but then the double play. Brewers would love if that trend continued right here as Aledmys Diaz steps in there 0 for 2 tonight. Nelson looking in. 5-2 Brewers lead. Bottom of the 6th, nobody out and a runner at first. Here's Nelson's pitch. Slow roller up the 3rd baseline. Charging is Shaw. He'll throw to first, but not in time. There was no play for anybody to make. That was just a well-placed swinging bunt by Aledmys Diaz. And now 1st and 2nd, and nobody out for Greg Garcia. Nobody can do anything about that. Just a slow bouncer. Shaw came as fast as he could, fired over to first in time. But by the time that ball was out of his hands, Diaz was almost through the first base bag. And that will get Josh Hader up and starting to move around down in the Brewers bullpen. He has not begun to throw yet, but it looks like just a matter of time before he does. Starting to stretch a little bit. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Nelson's pitch to Garcia puts a bunt down, and it's a foul ball. Home plate umpire Doug Eddings very quick to come out and throw his hands up. Pena was going to 3rd with it, and it would have been a good situation for the Brewers had that been deemed a fair ball. But Doug Eddings, to his credit, was very quick to come out and throw his hands up and stop the play. And Garcia, left-handed hitter, tried to bunt that pitch, and he bunted it foul. And it's 0-1. Now Nelson steps up and asks Pena to roll through the signs one more time. Hader now has begun to warm down in that bullpen. Nelson approaching 80 pitches. He's at 77. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 on Garcia. Garcia has not been retired tonight. A walk and a single for Garcia. Nelson looking in. Arcia sneaking in behind Wong at second base, and Nelson steps off and stares Wong back to the second base bag. Brewers trying to even up the day after dropping game 1 today 6-0. They lead 5-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Little mini jam for Jimmy Nelson with nobody out and runners at first and second. The 0-2 pitch fouled out of play, third base side. And the count remains 0-2. Nelson still with good velocity. That last one at 94. A lot of 94s and 95s from Jimmy Nelson tonight with the fastball. He has put together a really nice stretch of starts. And hoping to continue it by getting himself through the sixth here. Lined but fouled down the third base line and out of play. And the count stays 0-2 on Greg Garcia. Nelson is 0 for 8. 0-8 lifetime against the Cardinals. And his ERA was at 7.09 coming into this start here tonight. But after the first two innings, Nelson has had some nice defense played behind him. He's been able to get the outs when he's needed them. But a little bit of trouble here in this sixth. Needless to say, a strikeout of Garcia would be a big help here in this inning. And the Cardinal crowd trying to cheer on Greg Garcia, knowing that this is kind of a big spot in the game for the Cardinals. Garcia hits it high in the air, shallow left, long run for Brinson in foul territory. He reaches into the stands but can't make the catch. And we'll do it again at 0-2. Brinson covered a lot of ground to get over there, but that was about 2 rows up, and he needed it to be 1 row up. And he fell over into the stands, but he's all right. Back out there in left field just fine. Nelson has had 5 quality starts in his last 6. He'd like to add another one here tonight. But some work to do. Garcia calls for time and steps out. You get the sense this is a fairly big part of this game right now. Cardinals feeling like this could be their chance to get back in it. Trailing 5-2. Nelson's 0-2. Popped foul behind home plate and out of play. Cardinals certainly in it, down 3 runs, but the Brewers in control. And have been ever since that 4 spot put up in the top of the 4th. Jimmy Nelson, one of the best competitors on this team. He is a bulldog on the mound, and you know the competitive juices are flowing right now. The 0-2 to Garcia. Hit him. Pitch came down and in, and it's the second hit batter of the game for Jimmy Nelson. And now the bases are loaded and nobody out. And now it's a real jam for Jimmy Nelson. Couple of hits, and now a hit batter. Now the good news is you're at the bottom of the lineup. You've got Fryer and then the pitcher spot due up, but that's Dexter Fowler right now with the bat in his hands on deck. And Derek Johnson is out of the dugout for a quick trip to the mound to talk things over with Jimmy Nelson. Told you Josh Hader's been up and warming in the Brewers bullpen. He made his first appearance in his young major league career on Saturday night in Arizona against the Diamondbacks, and threw a scoreless inning, worked around a couple of walks in that inning. And he is working down there in the pen. 83 pitches for Nelson. Derek Johnson's conversation is over. Now he's walking back to the dugout. Fryer hit into a double play back in the 4th inning. The Brewers would take that again. With a 3-run lead, they would happily trade a run for 2 outs and try to limit the damage here in this bottom of the 6th. Nelson's pitch in there for a strike to Fryer, and it's 1-0. These are the type of innings when a young pitcher, and Jimmy Nelson's still a young pitcher by most standards, as the 0-1 comes home to Fryer, swinging a foul off the gear of Pena, and it's 0-2. These are the kind of innings when a young pitcher can really mature and become a veteran pitcher. If they can find a way to minimize the damage, limit what the Cardinals are able to do against them, that's a sign of maturity. A guy that has been in this spot before and has learned from it and found a way to wiggle out of the trouble that they find themselves in. The 0-2 to Fryer. Check swing. Did he go? They appeal to first. He did not. And it's a ball, 1-2. Fryer's 0 for 2. Told you about the ground ball double play he rolled into back in the fourth. Nelson looking in. Crowd really a part of this one right now. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. Arcia to second for one. The throw to first in time. A 6-4-3 double play. Wong comes home to score on the play. But boy, the Brewers will take that. It's a 5-3 game, but now a runner at third and 2 away. And Dexter Fowler strolling to the plate for the Cardinals. He'll pinch hit for the pitcher's spot. And again, Arcia making that play look really easy, and it wasn't the easiest play in the world for Orlando Arcia to make. It wasn't a real hard hit ball right to him. He had to range to his right, scoop it, and throw across his body back to Perez at second. And he did it without any incident. So here's Fowler. The runner at third is Diaz. And the first pitch to Fowler dropped in there for a strike with a breaking ball from Jimmy Nelson. 0-1.
It's about as good a turn from Hernan Perez at second base as you'll find as well, and a good scoop by Aguilar on the short hop at first. Good all the way around.
So 0-1 here on Fowler. Here's the pitch. Yeah, that one just missed upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. 5-3 game. Cardinals with a run across here in the bottom of the 6th. Brewers trying to make sure that's all. It has set up a big battle here between Nelson and Fowler. The pitch from Nelson. Blooped into left. Coming in is Brinson. Going to drop in there for a base hit. Diaz will score. It's an RBI single for Dexter Fowler, and it's a 5-4 game. Third hit of the inning for the Cardinals, and that is going to do it for Jimmy Nelson as Craig Counsell is out of the dugout, and he is not going to let Jimmy Nelson face Matt Carpenter here in this bottom of the 6th inning. So U.S. Cellular call to the bullpen's been made. With U.S. Cellular, you can post, text, and stream from the middle of anywhere. Cardinals have struck for a couple of runs here in the 6th. Brewers lead it 5-4. That's in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Brewers' 5-2 lead has been cut to 5-4 as the Cardinals have played at a couple of runs in this inning. Brewers got a big double play ball in this inning, which certainly helped. But Josh Hader now on, the left-hander, to face the left-handed hitting Matt Carpenter here. With the runner at first and 2 away, trying to keep the Brewers out in front in this one. Hader making just his 2nd career appearance. His first one came Saturday against the Diamondbacks, and he worked a scoreless inning. Ended it with a big called third strike on Jake Lamb to end that inning. And now he's on here to face Matt Carpenter, who's been a thorn in the Brewers' side today. Carpenter in game 1 with the ground rule double in that big 5th inning. A double and a single in this game so far for Matt Carpenter off of Jimmy Nelson. Dexter Fowler's at first. Aguilar's holding him on. Hader looks at first, brings home the pitch, and it's in there for a strike at 93 miles per hour. And it's 0-1 on Matt Carpenter. Carpenter hitting .231 on the year. 11 home runs. He's driven in 34. This has been a good baseball game so far here tonight. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There goes Fowler. Pitch is low and outside. The throw to second is in time. Got him. What a tag from Arcia. And Pena got it out of the glove quickly and fired it down there. And Fowler is out. And the inning is over. 2 runs come across for the Cardinals on 3 hits. No errors and nobody left on base. We go to the 7th. Brewers clinging to a 5-4 lead.
What's on tap? Brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer.
You'll want to be. Why? Because Badger Mutual's auto policy coverage just got better with its new Trust Auto program. For nearly 130 years, Badger Mutual has been the heart of your insurance protection.
WTMJ.
And the Brewers are in town over the 4th of July weekend, and on Sunday, July 2nd, all fans at Miller Park for the Crew's afternoon matchup with the Marlins will receive a Zach Davies Stars and Stripes bobblehead, courtesy of Clement Sausage. Kevin Segrist, the new pitcher on the mound for the Cardinals. Another left-hander on there after we saw Brett Cecil for the last couple of innings for the Cardinals. Brewers with a 5-4 lead as we go to the 7th. Once again, here's Jeff Levering.
All right, thanks, Lane. Trying to add some Badger Mutual insurance runs here in this top of the 7th inning. Orlando Arcia to lead it off, and then the pitcher's spot is due up. And right now, Eric Thames has a bat in his hand. Nobody loosening at the moment in the Brewers bullpen. Brewers did not make a double switch as far as we know. Nope, Hader's hitting in the number 9 spot, so someone's going to have to start getting loose for the Crew down there in the bullpen. Hader faced 1 batter through 2 pitches. Got the caught stealing. Got out of that jam for Jimmy Nelson. Still on line for a win. New pitcher on for St. Louis. Kevin Segrist hits a ground ball from Orlando Arcia. First pitch he throws, and it's a 6-3 putout. 1 up and 1 down for Segrist and the Cardinals in the top of the 7th, and Thames is not going to hit, evidently. He is heading back into the dugout for Milwaukee. And Nick Franklin will hit rather than Thames. Thames was not announced, so they'll use him for a runner in scoring position type of situation a little bit later in the game. And now it's Franklin. Pinch hitter this year, 6 out of 29 with 5 RBIs. Looking for his first hit from the right side of the plate this season. Nelson, all told, 5 2/3 innings, gives up 4 runs, all earned on 9 hits, struck out 4, walked 2. Pitch to Franklin, strike right down the middle, and it's 0-1, 93-mile-an-hour heater from Segrist. Segrist making his 26th appearance, 21 strikeouts and 21 2/3 innings coming in. He's set to the belt and deals. Franklin hits it high into left center field. Backing up on it, the center fielder Pham, just short of the warning track, comes up with it for out number 2. Lewis Brinson will come to the plate. 2 gone, nobody on for Milwaukee. As Jared Hughes, who pitched to just 1 batter, got him out in the opening game of this doubleheader, is getting loose for Milwaukee. Good crowd on hand here tonight. Had over 40,000 announced in game number 1. First pitch to Brinson. Hit in the air. Right field, shallow. Piscotti coming on. He'll make the catch, and it's a quick and easy inning for Kevin Segrist. He throws just 4 pitches, and the Brewers go in order. Time to stretch in St. Louis. Brewers leading the Cardinals 5-4. The Brewers Radio Network salutes the troops this season.
Your choice, $179.99. Can't decide? Get a Mills Fleet Farm gift card. The stuff dads want, we have it. Mills Fleet Farm.
Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ.
Bottom Bottom of the 7th inning in St. Louis. Brewers leading 5-4, trying to split this doubleheader with the Cardinals. Lost the opener 6-0. Had a 5-2 lead going into the bottom of the 6th. Cardinals scratched a couple across. Double play ball and a pinch hit, 2-out single from Dexter Fowler. And now Jared Hughes on for the Crew to pitch against Matt Carpenter. Carpenter at the plate when Fowler was thrown out trying to steal. First pitch misses down and away with his sinker. 1 ball, no strikes. A double, a single, bringing home a run in the 2nd inning, and a fly ball to deep right. All against the starter Jimmy Nelson. Josh Hader faced 1 batter through 2 pitches. Carpenter takes high. 2 balls, no strikes. Action in the St. Louis bullpen after a 1-2-3 inning from Kevin Segrist in the 7th. Carpenter upright with his stance, slightly open. The 2-0 missed somewhere. 3 balls and no strikes. Hughes pitched in game number 1 today, faced 1 batter and got Tommy Pham to ground out to third base. That squelched the 3-run 5th inning. 3-0 pitch, and it's a strike. 3-1. 93-mile-an-hour sinker from Jared Hughes. Trevor Rosenthal begins loosening for St. Louis. Three balls, 1 strike. Hughes kicks and deals. Carpenter drives one deep right center field, and the Cardinals have tied the game. Hughes fell behind 3-0. Threw a strike to get back into the count, and then left a sinker up in the zone, and Carpenter hits number 12. Back to even, and Jimmy Nelson will have to wait for another day to get his first career win against St. Louis. Here's Pham. A couple of ground outs, and he was hit by a pitch. Delivery is a strike on the inside corner, and it's 0-1. Pham bounced out against Hughes in game 1 of this doubleheader. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Pham late on the slider. 0-2 on Tommy. Stephen Piscotty waiting next. Hughes on 0-2. Deals. Slider down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Jared Hughes. Just the 2nd home run that he has allowed this year. He'd been pitching so much better of late. Fell behind in the count, and Carpenter made him pay. 1-2. Another slider down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hughes has the one he wants. And the 2-2 to Pham. Swing and a miss. Got him with a sinker down and in. So 1 away in the 7th inning, and Stephen Piscotty will be the batter. 7th inning stretch sponsored by Island Resort and Casino. Schedule your getaway to the island. Enjoy headline entertainment, 6th grade dining options, and time for you in the luxurious Drift Spa. Visit islandresortandcasino.com today. Here's Piscotty. Single and a couple of groundouts. One of those into a double play. Brewers have turned 3 double plays tonight. Piscotty chops this one off his front foot, and it's 0-1. Piscotty, 1 out of 4 on the day, all told. A 0-1 pitch to Piscotty. Bounce towards third. It's a fair ball. Shaw backhands across the diamond. Plenty of strength to get Piscotty by a couple of steps. 2 away now for Jose Martinez. Looking around the Major League scoreboard, 1 interleague game to report on. Dodgers coming from behind to take a lead against Cleveland. It's 7-2. Dodgers, bottom of the 9th inning. Cody Bellinger has hit a couple of home runs for L.A. Yasiel Puig hit his 10th and was also working on his foreign relations after his home run. Here's the pitch. Half swing and a miss by Jose Martinez. It's 0-1.
One way to explain that.
Anybody seen the movie Top Gun? If you know that reference, then you'll know what Yasiel Puig did. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Tied Martinez into the right-handed batter's box. 0-2.
I got to look at it. There's no doubt what he did.
Cleveland just hit a 3-run homer in the bottom of the ninth, by the way. It's 7-5. 0-2 pitch. Bouncer foul outside of third into the seats. Arizona's locked up in a good one with Detroit. That's 7-6. Top of the ninth inning. David Peralta hitting a home run in the top of the ninth to give them the lead. J.D. Martinez is 11th. Paul Goldschmidt, number 15. Miami 3-hit Oakland today. Jose Urena got the win. Martinez takes a called third strike with a good slider down the middle, and the inning is over. Damage done, though, for St. Louis. Solo home run off the bat of Matt Carpenter, the arch nemesis of the Crew. And that ties the game. It's 5-5 headed to the 8th.
Miller High Life. It's balanced. It's easy drinking. It's refreshing. It's what American lager was born to be. Welcome to the High Life. 2017 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility.
This is Henry's Hardcore.
Easy drinking. It's refreshing. It's what American lager was born to be. Welcome to the High Life. 2017 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility.
So, I was going to get a new...
Via trailing credits, 30-month retail installment contract, device protection.
620 WTMJ.
8th inning is here in St. Louis. Brewers Cardinals tied 5 apiece, and Trevor Rosenthal, the former closer of the Cardinals, coming on to pitch in the 8th inning. 1-2 is his record, making his 26th appearance, 266 earned run average. It's allowed just 14 hits in 23 2/3 innings. Opponents hitting just 171 against Rosenthal. He's given up a run, a solo homer this year against the Crew. There's a Ryan Braun home run back in May. Domingo Santana lead it off. Aguilar to follow, then Shaw. First pitch to Domingo. Misses low, 98-mile-an-hour fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Get to our U.S. Cellular Text the Booth questions in just a couple of moments. As Rosenthal into his stretch as always. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Santana late at 99. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jacob Barnes has a baseball and is playing catch for the Brewers in their bullpen. After an inning of work, giving up a run from Jared Hughes. The delivery, a swing and a miss. It's 1-2 on Santana. High fastball. 2, 3, and 4. Good chance for the Brewers. Try and chip away. After their big 4-run fourth, they've been quiet offensively. The pitch, down and away, not close. 2-2. That's been an issue for the Brewers. They'll jump out to an early lead, up by a couple of runs, but they will not add on. Got to keep that pedal to the metal. Darnell Coles and Jason Lane working diligently with the offense on keeping the quality at-bats consistent. The 2-2 off the outside corner at 98. It's 3-2. Santana 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout. 2 hits over his last 14 at-bats. Rosenthal kicks and deals. Outside, ball 4. So Santana works a walk. Leadoff man is on for Jesus Aguilar, homered back in the 4th. That tied the game at the time. Shaw followed to give the Brewers the lead. All right, now our U.S. Cellular Text the Booth questions tonight. One from Laura in Waukesha. Wanted to know the difference between a safety squeeze and a suicide squeeze. Brewers had a situation earlier in this game where Arcia squared the bunt in the 4th inning, and the Crew trying to push a run across that way. Rosenthal delivers. Aguilar, big swing and a miss at a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-1. Safety squeeze, runner at third base does not leave third to come home until he sees the ball down on the ground. Suicide squeeze, he's taken off as soon as he sees the pitcher get into his stretch and make a move towards home. The 0-1 off the plate away, 1 ball, 1 strike. On the suicide squeeze, you're banking on that hitter helping you out and putting the ball in play. Otherwise, you're toast at home. Safety squeeze, a little bit more calculated and hope for a good bunt. If it's not a good bunt, you don't go. That's your difference, Laura. Hopefully that answers your question. 1 ball, 1 strike. Santana at first, the pitch. Aguilar took it high and away with a slider. 2 balls and 1 strike. Also had David in Appleton check in. Good evening, Jeff. Good evening, David. That's how he started his text. Thanks for tuning in. Question about umpires. Double play depth up the middle. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Power versus power, and Rosenthal won that battle on that pitch. It's 2-2. Do crew chiefs get to pick their umpiring crew, or is it determined by Major League Baseball? That is strictly on Major League Baseball. Now, if there's an issue with umpires and they don't get along, you know, you're in tight quarters a whole bunch, then they'll make an adjustment. 2-2 pitch. It's low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. But that is all determined. Joe Torre and the rest of the bunch in the Major League Baseball office. That's who dictates who is on each umpiring crew. Crew chiefs are predetermined before the season starts based on seniority and skill level, of course, on the ratings. 3-2 pitch. Hit foul. Aguilar got a piece of it. 99 from Rosenthal. But those change. Those are subject to change every single year, those umpiring crews. But good question, David in Appleton, as well as Laura in Waukesha. Appreciate you guys texting the U.S. Cellular text the booth line tonight. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Aguilar. Runner at first, Santana. Rosenthal deals. High, ball 4. Back-to-back walks in this 8th inning. And Derek Lilliquist, Cardinals pitching coach, out to have a word with Rosenthal. Travis Shaw coming up 1-4-3 with a solo homer. The Brewers trying to strike right back after the Cardinals tied it with that home run off the bat of Matt Carpenter. Lilliquist brings the entire infield in to chat for this conversation. And Doug Eddings, the crew chief, out to break up the rock pile. Folks, the Brewers host the Marlins on Saturday, July 1st. First 10,000 fans 21 and older will receive a Brewers wall flag. Features a ball and glove logo inside the state of Wisconsin. It's courtesy of Miller Lite. Travis Shaw gave the Brewers the lead back in the 4th with a solo homer. His 11th of the year. He's got 2 men on and nobody out. And the pitch to him. High and away, ball 1. Good chance for the Brewers here in this 8th inning. 1-0 to Shaw. High with a changeup. 2 balls and no strikes. And Rosenthal having a real tough time with his command right now. And the Cardinals are getting their bullpen loose and in a hurry. It's like Seungwon Oh starting to play catch. 2-0 to Shaw. A high strike, and Shaw couldn't believe it. Eddings just bailed out Trevor Rosenthal. But that high strike has been there for the majority of the day. 2-1 on Shaw. Still a good hitter's count to work with. The set and the 2-1 to Travis. Down low and in the dirt. Fryer blocked it. And Domingo Santana thought momentarily about heading to third base. And there was a slight hesitation. And he decided, I better not try it. Probably a good idea. Fryer got to it pretty quickly. And you don't want to make that first out, especially if you're the go-ahead run at third base. Still a good hitter's count. 3-1 on Shaw. Rosenthal with the high set. Here he comes. Shaw loops one on the left field line. Slicing foul. Foul by about 5 feet. And now the count is full. 3-2. Brewers trying to regain the lead.
These have been some of the situations in these close games that the Brewers have failed to pull out, where they haven't always executed sometimes. And this is where they can really help themselves out if they can find a way to grab this lead here, set it up for Barnes and Knebel.
Here's the pitch. Line drive center field. It's down for a base hit. They're going to wave Santana. Here comes the throw from Pham. It's way offline. Shaw delivers. He gives the Brewers a 6-5 lead. Clutch hit from Travis Shaw. RBI number 44 on the year, and the Crew takes a 1-run lead. Type of at-bat you were looking for right there. Fastball, even off the plate a little bit. Shaw stayed right on it and drove it right back up the middle. And Tommy Pham's throw was nowhere near home plate. Domingo Santana easily in to give the Brewers a lead, and still nobody out. And Fryer out to chat with Rosenthal, as well as Greg Garcia, the third baseman. Jesus Aguilar stayed put at second base, did not try and go to third despite that high arcing throw from Tommy Pham. So the Brewers regain the lead, and the momentum sucked out of that Cardinals dugout, put right into the Brewers. Here's Perez. Here's the pitch, and he took a high strike. It's 0-1. 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Carpenter was breaking towards the plate, thinking Perez might bunt. Rosenthal, high set. Here's the pitch. Now Perez squares and pulls it back, takes a changeup low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rosenthal with back-to-back walks to start this 8th inning. And then the hit by Shaw. Perez trying to double up. The pitch. It misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike on Perez. 1 for 3 today, including a base hit bunt in the 6th. And Rosenthal has been really good of late. A rare missed opportunity for Trevor Rosenthal. The 2-1 on the outside corner, and Perez spins out of the batter's box. I think Rosenthal just got helped out again. Two balls, 2 strikes. Aguilar at second, Shaw at first. And the pitch off the outside corner. That one not close at 100. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Hernan Perez. Just 2 runs allowed for Rosenthal over his last 10 appearances. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball right back up the middle, base hit. Aguilar will be held at third base. The bases will be loaded for Milwaukee for Manny Pena. Right through the wickets of Trevor Rosenthal on another base hit by Hernan Perez, and here comes Mike Matheny. He's going to go to home plate umpire Doug Eddings, so a double switch on its way for St. Louis. The Brewers with a big-time rally in the 8th. And a double switch coming for the Cardinals, and the U.S. Cellular call to the bullpen has been made. with U.S. Cellular. And the Cardinals bringing on their closer, Sangwon Oh. The base is loaded, and nobody out for the Crew. Manny Pena due up. For Oh, he's making his 27th appearance, third most on the club. 15 saves in 17 tries, struck out 29 in 29 innings. 1-2 is his record, 3.10 ERA. So Rosenthal leaves. He did not retire a batter. 2 walks, 2 singles, and everybody on the base paths are on his ledger. The other change, new left fielder Jed Jerko. He will bat 9th. Jose Martinez now out of the game. Jerko's in left. Base is full of Brewers, and the infielders playing in on the grass. Here's the pitch from O to Manny Pena. Hit in the air down the right field line, foul. And it's 0-1. Aguilar, the runner, at third. Shaw at second. Perez at first. So not ideal in terms of your speed on the base paths at second and third, but still good enough. Fly ball deep enough could score Aguilar. Manny Pena just trying to deliver. He's doubled in 3 at-bats. 0-1 pitch. High. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pena with his average at .296 after his double in the 4th. Missed a home run by about 4 feet. Base is all jammed up. 1-1 pitch. Fouled straight back over the netting. And Manny Pena was right on it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sangwon Oh has been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde this year. Very good away from Busch Stadium. He's given up just 1 run in 12 games. At home, though, 12 runs in 14 games. 1-2. And the pitch. Inside a ball. Didn't miss by much. 2-2. ERA near 5 here on his home turf. Nearly blew a save his last time out on the 11th. That was on Sunday against Philadelphia. Gave up a couple of runs and 4 hits. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, delivers. Hit in the air, right field. Piscotty moving into foul ground, and he will let it fall. It's actually not a bad play. If he catches it, Aguilar more than likely scores from third. So Piscotty just let it drop. We'll see if that pays dividends for the Cardinals or if it hurts. Keon Broxton to follow, as Jacob Barnes continues to loosen in the Brewers bullpen. 2-2 pitch. Hit on a line to center. It's down a base hit. Aguilar scores. Shaw will be held at third. Manny Pena delivers an RBI single, and the Brewers lead at 7-5. Good piece of hitting from Manny Pena. Slider on the outside edge, went right back up the middle with it. And the Brewers still don't have any outs, and the bases are still loaded. Huge insurance run for Milwaukee. And Keon Broxton bats with the bases full. RBI number 18 for Manny Pena. 3 straight singles back up the box by the Brewers. And now it's Broxton. A homer, a triple, and a strikeout. Oh, kicks and throws. Broxton took a slider for a strike, and it's 0-1. Brewers trying to split this doubleheader. Lost the opener, 6-0. Good offensive attack today. 7 runs, 10 hits so far. Oh, throws. Way outside and backhanded by Fryer. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mike Matheny was rolling the dice, hoping that Rosenthal was going to be able to pitch through the 8th inning. Didn't retire anybody. Now he's got to go to his closer in the 8th. 1-1 delivery. High and inside, trying to back up that slider. And that had some hang time on it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sam Tuivailala is getting ready for the Cardinals now in their bullpen. 2-1 to Broxton. Outside, it's 3-1. And now Broxton can zero something in and let it rip. 5 straight have reached for Milwaukee. Back-to-back walks and then 3 straight singles. 3-1 on Broxton. Here it is. Hit in the air, left field. Will it be deep enough? Jerko is behind it. Shaw tagging. Shaw coming home. The throw will go to third. Perez tagging, and he is safe at third. Shaw scores. It's 8-5. Gutsy tag from Hernan Perez going from second to third. And Greg Garcia telling Mike Matheny to hold things up, to take a look and see if they put a tag down on Hernan Perez. But a really gutsy tag from Hernan in the first place on the fly ball to left center. And Garcia did not make any contact. He whiffed. So it's a sacrifice fly, and now Hernan Perez, because of his aggressiveness, a chance to score on another fly ball if Garcia can deliver. A 3-run 8th inning for Milwaukee. Double play depth up the middle. Kicks and throws. Swing and a miss. And Arcia looked like he had a concerted effort to go to right. Three RBI night for Keon Broxton after his sacrifice fly. Just deep enough to score Travis Shaw. Perez at third, Pena at first. Arcia at the plate. Only 1 away. And the pitch. Down and away. Fryer almost looked like a pitch out. And Fryer and home plate umpire Doug Eddings having a quick conversation. And while they finish up their chat, 10 for ID on the Brewers Radio Network.
The home of the Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. We are Wisconsin's radio station. WTMJ and WTMJ HD, Milwaukee.
8th inning in St. Louis. 1-1 count on Arcia. And the pitch. Swing and a foul. Backing out of play just below us. It's 1-2 on Orlando. Along with Lane Grindle and our producer and engineer Kent Sommerfeld, Jeff Levering with you. Brewers with a 3-run 8th inning to regain the lead 8-5. And the Brewers have Jacob Barnes getting loose in the pen with a couple of days rest. Thames in the on-deck circle. 1-2 pitch. Arcia pokes it foul. One and two on Orlando Arcia. Some really good approaches in this 8th inning from this Brewers offense against hard-throwing Trevor Rosenthal and now Seung-Won Oh. 1 and 2 on Orlando Arcia. Slightly open stance, straight up. The 1-2. Hit in the air. Not deep enough. It's on the infield. Carpenter underneath it. He'll make the catch, and Arcia is out. Pop up to first base, and now Thames will be the 8th man to come to the plate in this inning against the Cardinals bullpen. So Thames will pinch hit against O. As a pinch hitter this year, Thames 0 for 4. Runners at first and third. Big run out there at third base. Trying to extend this lead a little further. It's 8-5 Milwaukee. O throws. Thames takes outside, ball 1. O picked up a loss against the Brewers back on May 1st. That was the extra inning game where Travis Shaw took him deep for a 3-run homer. 1-0 on its way to Thames. Fouled straight back. He had a big cut. And it's 1-1 on Eric. Picked up 3 saves early on in the season in Milwaukee. In 3 straight games, Brewers won the opener against the Cardinals in the season series back at Miller Park, and then the Cardinals won the last 3 as Thames hits one in the air left field. Playable for Jerko, nearing the line, and he makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. Brewers strike for 3 in the 8th. On 3 hits, they strand a couple. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Brewers leading St. Louis 8-5.
The Brewers compensation insurance. Well, at West Bend, our team of specialists will see to your needs and even recommend a quality loss prevent. West Bend, the worst brings out our best. HNI, an official supplier of the Silver Lining.
Your local Metro Milwaukee Honda dealers for loan, lease, and financing rates on all 2017 Honda models. Or
Jacob Barnes on to pitch for the Brewers in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Milwaukee's got an 8-5 lead to protect. Barnes making appearance number 34 to lead the club. 1-1 ERA at 3.77. He's struck out over a batter an inning, 32 punch-outs and 31 innings of work. Five, 6, and 7 due up for St. Louis. Wong, Diaz, and Garcia. This was the trio that gave Jimmy Nelson issues in the 6th. First pitch from Barnes to Wong. Fastball in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Brewers baseball brought to you in part by Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy. Summer Shandy combines German-style Weiss beer with natural lemonade flavor. Leinenkugel's Brewing Company, Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. The 0-1 pitch lined back up the middle. That's a base hit for Colton Wong. That's how the Cardinals' bottom of the 8th begins. Please, folks, enjoy Leinie's responsibly. Wong with a 2-hit day. Second base hit up the middle for Wong. Now Aledmys Diaz, a swinging bunt his last time up. He's 1 out of 3. Here's the delivery. Swung on and fouled up into the upper deck. It's 0-1. Nice catch made by a fan in the front row. Reached over. Nearly fell over. He was able to pull it in, though. I'll give you the $4. The delivery swung on, popped up. Center field. Keon Broxton settling underneath it. He'll make the play. 1 away. Wong back to first. 40,115 here at Busch Stadium tonight to watch this one. Brewers leading 8-5.
I think it's instinct to go after the ball sometimes. For me, my fear of heights is a greater instinct that would overrule the instinct to go after the ball. It's just me.
It's a tough lean. That's all I'm saying from the second deck. Here's Greg Garcia. Barnes good for a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Tough day if you're a Seattle Mariners fan. They're playing the Minnesota Twins today. Twins leading 20-6. The pitch, swing and a miss. Good cutter down it in, 0-2. Twins have scored 20 runs on 28 hits. There have been 2 separate 7-run innings for Minnesota. 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 7th.
Eddie Rosario has 3 home runs in that game.
0-2. Garcia waits. And time called. Eduardo Escobar in that game, 5 for 5. I think Rosario's hitting the number 9 spot, too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the Mariners jumped out to like a 3-0 lead in that one.
They did. Twins scored 4 in the bottom of the second. The pitch, down low and in the dirt, blocked by Pena, but up to second goes Colton Wong. What will be a wild pitch on Jacob Barnes. That takes a double play out of order.
Mariners are feeling good. 3-0. Good start to this one.
Wham! Yeah, there's some really lofty numbers at the bottom of the order. Kenny Vargas 4 for 6. Escobar's now 5 for 6. Eddie Rosario 4 for 5. 5 RBIs of those 3 homers.
I don't think there's a lot of small ball in that one. I don't think they're putting down any bunts and advancing runners.
Kyle Gibson went 6 innings in that one, in line for the win. He gave up 6 runs. 1-2 pitch. Low and in the dirt, blocked by Pena. Yeah, tough day to be a Mariners fan. Yeah, they went up 3-0. Minnesota scored 4 in the second, 7 in the third. They were down 11-3. It's a tough day at the yard. Game's still going on. They're in the top of the 9th. Barnes looks at second. 2-2 pitch to Greg Garcia. Ground ball to second base. Hernan Perez has it. Throws on to first. Wong advances to third base on the ground ball. 2 away, runner at third for Eric Fryer. He bounced into a pair of double plays and fly to right. Pirates beating Colorado 5-2. Andrew McCutchen hit a couple of home runs. He's hot. He's hitting nearly 400 over his last 17 games since being dropped in the number 6 spot in the order. First pitch to Fryer. Popped up, right side, and foul. 5 rows up. Nice catch, barehanded. That's his second baseball that he's caught. He caught one earlier in the game.
Give one to a kid.
I think he's got a couple of kids with him. Just holding on to him for safekeeping. Make sure those baseballs don't end up on the field somehow. We've seen that a few times. 0-1, here it is. Swing and a miss. Blew him away. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. 0-2. It's a great second deck. Catch a foul ball, give it to the youngster.
Look out below.
Nice knowing you, Pearl. 2 strikes and 2 outs on Fryer. Barnes trying to work around that leadoff hit. The kick and the pitch. Fouled back. Lane make a play. Oh, just below you. Everybody's making catches tonight.
I thought we had a chance on that one.
You would have needed a net, like a fishing net.
Yeah. I have one at home I could have used. Didn't bring it.
Would fit in your carry-on? Maybe a pool skimmer?
There you go.
Be great.
Harder to keep that in there, though. They don't have the depth to them.
No, they don't. 0-2 as Barnes delivers. Swing and a miss. Barnes lights up the radar gun with 97. He gets Fryer. We head to the 9th. Brewers with an 8-5 lead.
This fan update is brought to you by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Hit the jackpot with another exciting Brewers promotion. The blue and gold is teaming up with the Pirates, plus a Packers-themed Brewers hat. Visit brewers.com/theme nights. Stay tuned for other odds-on favorites. Brewers Baseball, presented.
Hi, we're the Woodmans. I'm Clint. I'm Phil. It's Woodmans.
For over 75 years, the 80 locations.
620 WTMJ.
New pitcher in for St. Louis. Right-hander Sam Tuivailala. Last pitch a couple of days ago in AAA against Nashville. 2 innings of scoreless baseball with a couple of strikeouts. Recalled today. Was 1-0 in 14 games with Memphis. A couple of games with the Cardinals earlier this year. Picked up his first Major League win back in early May. He'll face the top of the order, Brinson, Santana, and Aguilar. Brewers leading 8-5. Fans, you just can't beat fun at the old ballpark. And you can't beat tailgating with a grill full of Usinger sausage. Plop those babies in a soft pretzel bun and load in your favorite fixins. Finish up your feast with some Cedar Crest ice cream. Make sure it's on ice, of course. Now you're ready for some baseball. Here's Brinson. 1 for 4. First major league hit back in the third. And the first pitch from TUE Vailala misses low. 1 ball and no strikes. Long day at the ballpark today. Brewers losing the opener of the doubleheader this afternoon and hoping to come away with a win in the nightcap. Here's the 1-0 to Brinson. Check swing and a strike that somehow caught the outside corner. It's 1-1. Brinson 1 out of 10 in his young major league career. Trying to get aboard, add some Badger Mutual insurance runs. The 1-1. Slider missed down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Game number 3 of this series coming at you tomorrow night. Matt Garza scheduled to come off the disabled list and pitch for the Crew against Mike Leake, who's been really good this year for the Cardinals. The pitch, a strike on the lower part of the strike zone this time, and it's 2-2. Game 4, Thursday, 6:15. Zach Davies against Michael Wacha. No getaway day games here in St. Louis. 2-2 on Lewis Brinson. Here it is. Bouncer hit to the right side. Gloved by Wong in shallow right. Throws to first, and Matt Carpenter nearly got himself into big-time trouble. His footwork was not excellent receiving that throw from Colton Wong and nearly got himself into the runner's lane. And that's not a train that I'd like to be on the other end of, Lewis Brinson.
No thanks. Talking earlier about how physically impressive he is. Brewers have a lot of those guys. This is a very physically impressive team when you see him get off the bus.
First guy off the bus. Jesus Aguilar, probably.
Eric Thames right behind him.
Pitch to Santana, and it's 1-0.
Domingo Santana, when you stand next to him, that's a big dude with big, broad shoulders.
Could throw Jimmy Nelson into the mix, too.
Jacob Barnes, for that matter.
The 1-0. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. It's a very physically imposing team. And Brewers flexing their muscles today. 3 solo homers in the game. Broxton, Aguilar, Shaw. Came up with manufactured runs in the 8th. Delivery to Santana, good on the outside corner, 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Sam Tuivailala. Santana 0 for 3, but started the 8th inning rally with a walk. Scored on the Travis Shaw RBI single. 2-1 pitch. Line to left, a base hit. Jumped on that 97-mile-an-hour fastball on the inner part of the plate. Lines a rocket to left field. Hit number 11 for Milwaukee. Not an easy pitch to pull, but Santana did it. And now Jesus Aguilar will hit, and Eric Fryer and Colton Wong will have quick conversation with Tuivailala. Again, just up today. Marco Gonzalez started this game for St. Louis, lasted just 3 1/3. Brewers knocked him out after the RBI triple from Keon Broxton. And it's been a host of relievers, 6 of them by Mike Matheny. The pitch to Aguilar. Down and in, ball 1. Brewers had Jimmy Nelson start 5 2/3 innings. He'll get a no decision. 4 runs, 9 hits. Josh Hader threw 2 pitches. There was a runner caught stealing to end his frame in the 6th. Hughes gave up a run in the 7th. That tied the game 5-5. Aguilar takes outside with a fastball. It's 2-0. Home run by Matt Carpenter off of Jared Hughes in that bottom of the 7th inning to tie 5-5 before the Brewers got the 3 runs in the 8th. 2-0 on Aguilar. He can dial something in here. He's 1 for 3 today. Throw to first. Santana back with a dive. Ground out to third in the first inning. Homered in the fourth. Bounced back to the pitcher in the fifth. Walked and scored a run in the eighth. Scored on the RBI hit by Manny Pena. 2-0 from TUE Vailala. Swing and a miss. Aguilar with a big cut. 2-1 the count. This game over the 3-hour mark. Makes sense as it's 8-5. A lot of runs, a lot of hits. Handful of walks in the game, and the amount of pitching changes too. 2-1 the count on Jesus. The right-hander steps off the back of the rubber. Wants a new sequence from Eric Fryer. 40,115 announced attendance at Busch Stadium. A lot of those folks have headed away from the ballpark. The 2-1 coming. Down and away. It mixed up Fryer big time. Santana stays put at first base after Fryer knocked it down. And he'll walk a new baseball out to TUE Vailala. To still having a conversation. Doug Eddings was on his way out. Fryer with a U-turn back behind home plate. Games on the West Coast just starting to get to the midway point. Angels with a 1-0 lead over the Yankees. Aaron Judge has not hit a home run yet. That is news. 3 balls, 1 strike on Aguilar. Go to Rippon here. The pitch is low, ball 4. So after the base hit by Santana, a walk to Aguilar, 2 men on for Travis Shaw.
Aguilar might have one of the greatest walk bat flips ever. He kind of tosses it underhand directly behind him. It's a little bit of flair to that.
It's strong. You got to have some bat control too, because you got a over-anxious bat boy coming in behind you to try and take that baseball. That's a accident waiting to happen. He's got some serious control with his stylish bat flip on the walks.
Accuracy.
Here's Shaw, the pitch. High and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
Letting him know that was a quality at bat.
He doesn't walk a whole lot. He's only had to do that bat flip 12 times this year. Couple of walks today. Aguilar and Santana, your runners. And the 1-0 to Shaw. Strike called outside corner. Shaw asking Doug Eddings. All right, it's getting late. 1 ball, 1 strike on Travis Shaw. Couple of hits today, couple of runs batted in. It is 11th home run of the season back in the 4th. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball high. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike. (8-5) Milwaukee, top half of the 9th inning in St. Louis. Trying to finish off this doubleheader with a win. 2-1 pitch. Shaw, big swing and a miss. 2-2. He's looking to send that one over to the St. Louis Arch. Arch not too far away from Busch Stadium. They just finished off all that construction that they've been working on in that area along the Mississippi River over the last couple of years. 2-2 to Shaw. Hit down the left field line, foul and into the seats. Brand new park, region. I feel like that place has been under construction for at least 3 years. Trying to boost it a little bit, make it a little cleaner. Add some to the museum that's at the bottom of the St. Louis Arch. Shaw steps out of the batter's box, and TUE Vailala steps off the back of the rubber. Now ready to go. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sign is down. And now the pitch. Shaw swings and misses. 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and Shaw couldn't connect. So it's a strikeout for TUE Vailala. And Hernan Perez will get another crack. A couple of men on base. He's 2 for 4 today, and 4 out of 8 in the doubleheader. Starting to swing the bat better. Batting average now nearing 280. Extended playing time with the Ryan Braun injury and the Travis Shaw. Time missed as his curveball catches the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Brewers very balanced attack today from their offense. TUE Vailala, a lot of pitches being used in this ninth. The delivery hit on a line, but right at Greg Garcia at third base. Saves a run, and the Brewers will go to the bottom of the ninth, leading by 3. They've got the Cardinals down 8-5.
This is what it sounds like when truck guys shop at other dealerships.
How about Gray? Family size, that's 16 inches. 2-topping thin crust pizza for only $9. Papa Murphy's Pizza, made with the freshest meats, veggies, and cheeses. You take it home to...
At We Energies, we know how important it is for you to have safe, reliable energy. That's why we're upgrading our electricity infrastructure by rebuilding hundreds of miles of distribution lines and replacing thousands of poles and transformers.
Message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
Enjoy your yard bite-free this summer with bats
today and make the pests go away.
This inning brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Corey Knebel on to try and close this one down for the Brewers. Cruz got an 8-5 lead against the St. Louis Cardinals. It'll be Jerko, Carpenter, and Pham in the bottom of the ninth inning. Knebel appearing in game number 33. 31 1/3 innings pitched. He struck out 57 opponents, hitting just 142 against the Brewers right-hander. Jerko came in as part of the double switch when O came into the game in the middle of the Brewers scoring 3 times in the 8th. He'll lead off against Knebel. Corey making his 3rd appearance this year against St. Louis. 2 scoreless innings with a couple of strikeouts. First pitch to Jed Jerko. Popped up, shallow right. Playable for Jesus Aguilar into foul territory. He'll make the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out. Just what you like to see with a 3-run lead. Now it's Matt Carpenter. Again, the Brewers and the Cardinals will play game 3 of this series tomorrow night. 7:15 Central Time. Scheduled for first pitch. We'll hit the air at 6:40. On deck show built by Menards. Matt Garza is scheduled to come off the disabled list and throw. Mike Leake scheduled for St. Louis. Paolo Espino, who is here and available out of the Brewers bullpen just in case, who came from Memphis, probably heading right back down to Memphis. Here's the pitch to Carpenter. A strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Knebel pitching on a couple of days rest. Has not pitched since Friday against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Struck out a couple in a scoreless inning to pick up the save. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Carpenter swung for the downs at 98. Came up empty. 0-2. Carpenter today, double, RBI single, solo homer. It's also flied to deep right. Knebel set at the belt, kicks and deals. Swinging a fly ball to right. Santana back. He's got room and makes the catch. 2 away. Carpenter squared it up. But Domingo Santana able to make the play. 2 gone for Tommy Pham. Maybe just a touch off the trademark. Didn't get full barrel on it. And out nonetheless. And now it's Pham. 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch. Struck out his last time. Knebel throws. Missed just off the outside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. He's got a pretty impressive streak going right now. 32 consecutive games with at least 1 strikeout to open up the season. Second longest in Major League history. This pitch misses off the outside corner. It's 2-0. The longest or oldest Chapman back in 2014. 37 straight games. Two and the count on Pham. Knebel throws. Hit foul down the right field line. It's 2-1. I think Corey Knebel would be very pleased if he sees that strikeout record go away for a clean bottom of the 9th inning. Glad to trade that. If he gets a strikeout and it's a perfect inning, awesome. If not, and it's still perfect, that's okay too. 2-1 on Pham. And Knebel steps off the back of the rubber, wants a new sequence of signs. Brewers trying to split the doubleheader. They're an out away from doing it. Here comes Knebel. Chopper, third base side. This is going to be a tough play, and it's going to be Shaw throwing to first, not in time. Swinging bunt from Tommy Pham. Hit it right up the third baseline. Travis Shaw did everything he could do. Came in, charged it. Barehanded play. Threw on the run. Nice accurate throw, but Pham with too much speed. So a 2-out single. And now it's Piscotty. For St. Louis, hit number 12. Brewers bullpen has been good tonight. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off, and he'll take second base uncontested. Indifference to allow Pham to get to second. Piscotty took the curveball high. 1-0 on Stephen Piscotty. Single back in the first inning. That's it. Bounced out 3 other times. Knebel, a deep breath in the pitch. Piscotty takes the curveball for his strike. 1-1. Yadier Molina is in the on-deck circle. He would hit for the pitcher. Formerly Jose Martinez's spot in the order. Here comes Knebel. Swing and a tapper foul. It's 1-2. Well, now you could pitch for that strikeout and the ball game. Keep that streak alive, too. Piscotty down to the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Knebel bent over at the waist. Baseball behind his back. Has the sign. He kicks and deals. Just high with a fastball at 98. Piscotty thought about chasing. Didn't do it. 2-2. 8-5 Brewers. Trying to send the Cardinals down with a loss, and the Crew trying to stay in first place in the Central. The Cubs winning earlier today. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The kick and the pitch. Check swing. Got him looking. Ball game over. Brewers beat St. Louis 8-5. And Corey Knebel keeps the strikeout streak alive. 33 straight games with a punch-out to start Knebel's season. Brewers with a big 3-run 8th inning, and they ride that to an 8-5 win in the nightcap of the doubleheader. We'll be back with the totals from St. Louis after these words on the Brewers Radio Network. Milwaukee Brewers baseball brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Usinger's famous sausage. Usinger's and baseball. It's Lane. The Brewers even the series and split the double dip.
Yeah, the Brewers improved to 34-32. The Cardinals fall to 30-33. For the Crew, 8 runs on 11 hits, no errors. They left 6. The Cardinals 5 runs on 12 hits. No errors. They stranded 7 in this game tonight. Winning pitcher, Jared Hughes. He improves to 2-1. Trevor Rosenthal took the loss. He did not record an out in this game. He falls to 1-3. Corey Knebel gets his 9th save. 3 hours and 19 minutes to play this one in front of 40,115 here at Busch Stadium.
How about our Chevrolet star of the game?
I think you got to go Keon Broxton. He goes 2 for 3 today. Drives in 3 runs, a home run, and a triple to go along with it. He's coming out of that little cold streak that he was in, and it looks like Keon is heating up.
Got to have that. Those peaks and valleys for Keon. Hopefully this is sky high on one of those peaks. Chevrolet, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com today to find a dealer near you. Well, it was a long day at the yard. We get to go to sleep now. Next broadcast coming up tomorrow. On Deck show built by Menards will get underway at 6:40. Game time scheduled for 7:15. Crew take on the Cardinals in Game 3 of this 4-game series. Matt Garza is scheduled to be activated off the disabled list. He'll start for the Crew. Mike Leake will go for the Cardinals. For our producer and engineer Kent Sommerfeld and for Lane Grindle, this is Jeff Levering inviting you to stay tuned for the TravelWisconsin.com postgame show. Lane's got that coming up momentarily. Once again, the final score from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. It was the Brewers 8 and the Cardinals 5. Have a terrific rest of your Tuesday night, everybody. This has been a presentation of the Brewers Radio Network.
Hi, I'm What You Like. We've got the festival to celebrate it. Don't miss the 50th anniversary of Summer